know where the truth once stood. A kingdom of confusion carved out of falsehood. But he walks through the ruins like a prophet reborn. A voice wants in fire, but my darkness gone. The chaos watches with an all-seeing glare. Guardian of reason in a world unaware. When the overlord stalls at the edge of the frame, the faithful rise up, they already know his name. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sin. I come to wake the sleeping, the church will bring the fair. No hurdles, no illusions, no hollow in compare. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Misled, thinking truth from the wreckage, raising dawn from the dead. Every word is a weapon, shaman declare, exposing every shadow we pretend not to fear. And the overlord rises with the suffering command. A beast of judgment, the mortal kill is dead. But his growl rings through the silence of the night. The loyal understand, Trigger keeps the balance right. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I'm making the chaos of found to every test. It's all your kiss with darkness. What's in defense? He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Now you're head to the beast that controls the doors. It's in yellow reason with a ball-crushing block. If his ball runs in deep, the shadows will consume. The world cracks open, ushering down. So read the command, don't deploy and accord. If you know what's good, feed more the overlord. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. In the chaos of every test, it's strong against the darkness, rising to defense. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense.
Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing tonight? What is going on? What is going on? Oh, is Morty coming to join? No! He comes up to the chair, and then he jumps on the chair, on his own chair. I don't get it. I don't get it. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? He wants food. He wants food. Guys, don't forget, every single donation comes with a treat for the Overlord. Shout out to Lone Wolf and Cub in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Gavin Newsom, he might be making some headway. He might be making some headway. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of time before 28, but this is not out of his wheelhouse, let's say. So he's been going. Gavin Newsom, obviously governor of California. If you're not familiar, big schmarmy, slimy dude, has been going on a book tour. Not a I'm going to run for president tour, a book tour. He did write the book, but it's because he's going to run for president. And this one was in New York last week, hosted by White Dudes for Harris, Harry Sisson. So I figured, what a better place to get two losers in the same place and see, do we have to worry about this? So let's dive right in. And as always, guys, if you can hit the video, please do let me know.
man. Well, look, if you're applauding for me like that, wait till you see the next guy. He's pretty cool. It's gonna be fun. That was a lovely introduction. Made me sound way cooler than I actually am. I can guarantee you that much. It'd be nice to be introduced like that everywhere. You know, like a restaurant. They say, "Oh, here is Barack Obama's right-hand man, Joe Biden's senior advisor, Gavin Newsom's VP pick for 2028." I mean, I'm spitballing. I just see what sticks.
Already simping. Already simping.
But I just wanted to briefly introduce myself before we get the conversation going. My name is Harry Sisson, 23 years old. I've been posting political videos for almost 6 years. In April 4th, I believe it's gonna be 6 years.
Well, is the video loud enough?
Oh, please. You guys are too kind. And it's been
They
a
are
wild
too
ride.
kind.
I've been attacked by Donald Trump. I've been attacked by Republican members of Congress. And I've also been attacked by Fox News, who I've been asking, are they here tonight? I was hoping they were. But of course, they're covering more important stories, right?
Yes. Shout out to Comtech. Welcome to the party. Said, liked, and shared. My goodness, thank you. You guys know that stuff is free. It's easy. It helps out the channel so very much. And it doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link. Just by you telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. Thank you so very much. Also, we always have to worry about every dummy crap candidate. Yep. They're ignorant Marxist NPCs always vote blue no matter who. Right. And so I think a lot of people are going to see something like this and be like, well, why do we even care about this? Why do we even care about this? And it's like, well, I mean, for exactly this reason, that they will vote in numbers. They will vote in numbers. So welcome. Let's dive back in. I raised the video a little bit. Hopefully that should help.
Here tonight, I was hoping they were. But of course, they're covering more important stories, right? They're talking about what shoes Joe Biden is wearing, or the color of Obama's suit, or the way they...
Bro, were you even in high school when that story came out?
Gavin Newsom sits. By the way, these are all real stories they've actually covered on air. And they have a long night ahead of themselves kissing ass after Donald Trump's State of the Union, you know?
Okay, so I guess this was on Tuesday.
Oh, man. But I'm really excited for the conversation we're going to have tonight. We're talking about his new book, Young Man in a Hurry. The good thing about this book is you can actually read it. I was thinking about how we can make this into a drinking game.
Every single time we get clapter, when it's meant to be something that is like a joke or something like that, but it is only there to raise applause. Every time they just applaud something that doesn't need applause. Let's get drunk. And guys, remember, if you do not like, I guess it's over here. If you do not like the vertical stream and you are there, just head to the description and you can get the link for the landscape one. And you will be in good company. Yeah, right? Orange Man Bad. That one's always, oh my God. That's what we're looking for. Now, hey, if he says something, if Newsom says something that we personally don't disagree with, or rather, we personally don't agree with, but they do, and it like legitimately earns applause, that's no problem. But I think you'll see what I mean if you don't know already.
Like the Epstein files, there are no redactions in here. None of that. There's no covering up alleged crimes. It's great. It's a really good book. And I'm not just saying that because I'm up here. I really enjoyed it. So if you get the opportunity.
So nothing about Fauci?
You should absolutely read it. But I'm really excited to have this conversation. And last thing I'll say before we bring out the governor is conversations like this really keep me sane. They keep me hopeful.
This is you sane, brother? Oh, man.
I think it's really easy to become depressed and cynical and pessimistic about everything going on. I mean, you wake up every day, you look at your phone, you see a headline that says, Donald Trump kicks puppy down the stairs, and you're like, well, yeah, that tracks, and then there's a story 6 hours later, and then another one. It's overwhelming. It's heavy. But hearing from people like Governor Newsom, people who care, people...
People who care and Governor Newsom should not ever be in the same sentence. Oh my God. This is going to be fun, guys. This is going to be fun. I am already glad that we did this.
It's heavy. But hearing from people like Governor Newsom, people who care, people who are in their positions trying to do good things for the people they represent, it's nice. It keeps me sane. And you can look at the people beside you tonight. They're on the right side of history. They're doing the right thing. So it is a reminder there are good people out there. And it's always nice, All right. Well, listen, you didn't pay to hear me yap. You didn't pay to hear me monologue. You're here because we want to hear from Governor Gavin Newsom. So please welcome to the stage America's Governor, Gavin Newsom.
This is fair applause coming out to the stage. Totally fair. That's not clapper. We're gonna make fun.
Come on.
They got to do it the right
Good
way.
to see you. All right.
Vice president, huh?
Well, if you're offering.
Don't you have to be 35 to be vice president?
Wait, we don't care about the law anymore, do we? Well, Governor,
All right.
this is your fourth.
I'm going to be trying to call the balls and strikes because politicians and influencers, they have a way with words, with crowds, with all that kind of stuff. So I'll give it to them when they get a good joke, but I'm also going to call it when there's bullshit. Guantek said, I guess Harry wasn't prepared to be in the position we were in when their party was in power. Yeah, I get like that it's a convenient thing to be like, well, I was 11 when that happened, so you can't put that on me. All right, that's fair, but that doesn't mean that the people that you're voting for weren't there. Like, Joe Biden was there. Gavin Newsom was there.
Book stop in 4 days, is that right?
Yeah, but this is the one that matters because this is the day that the book is available to purchase. So
There you go.
guys.
It's
Good to be with everybody.
Go buy it. We're not going to spoil it. But the first
We're not going to talk about anything that's in it because there's nothing in it.
question I want to ask, and I'm going to whip out my phone because my questions are on my phone. Very Gen Z. But first question.
I actually read this thing, right?
I read it front to back.
Unbelievable.
It was really, really good. Again,
By the way,
I'm not
has
saying-
anyone read the book? I just out of curiosity.
You literally just said it came out today, bro.
That's probably
Nobody?
Not many hands went up. That's probably why you're here. Stupid.
That was literally the last sentence out of your mouth. This is such an important day because this is when the book comes out. Did any of you read it already? Obviously not. Shout out to the tech. Welcome. Said, veteran today was scared and complaining about what happened to Iran. I couldn't believe what he was saying. What was he saying? Welcome.
Because this is a different kind of book, right, Harry?
Right, that's exactly, and I wanted to ask you about that. I was talking to your team in preparation for this, and I was reading the book, and a lot of work went into it. I mean, this was a 4-year project. You listened to these interviews that your father did that you didn't know existed. You spoke to family, friends about your mother, your father, just your general background. And in the first chapter, you go very in depth on your history. So I'm curious.
And yes, this title is not clickbait. Gavin Newsom let his mom die in his own words.
It's like, what was the process like? What did you enjoy? What did you not enjoy?
Well, my mom passed away about 20 years ago, so she wasn't around to help me with this memoir. My father survived just long enough to see me get elected governor, and it was a miracle that he lasted that long.
I thought he was going to say, the miracle that I got elected because, I'm a piece of shit.
And so this book goes up until his death, which went around the transition to my inaugural as governor, which unfortunately he wasn't able to be at. And so it was a reflective book. It was a memoir that fundamentally was about discovery. It's Young Man in a Hurry, but a memoir of discovery. Discovering more about him, discovering about my mom, learning about why they got divorced. They never told me. Mom was 19, pregnant with me a few years later. She's raising 2 kids on her own. I found out, didn't know this. In that oral history that you represent, someone casually mentioned, did you ever hear that Bancroft Library interview your dad did? I said, what are you talking about? And in the interview, he describes having run for local office on the County Board of Supervisors and lost, and then immediately turned around and ran in 1968 for state senate and lost. And he said he was broke and broken and had a panic attack and basically took off and left. Left my mom, kid, to raise 2 kids on her own. I never understood why they got divorced, nor in that process of discovery, never understood why my mom was so insistent that I not get into politics. And that's been this book. And it's why it was over a multi-year period. This is not one of those political books that I wrote just to, try to get it ahead of some cycle or,
Yeah, no, this totally isn't before ahead of some huge cycle that I'm going to be part of. That's really what I want to focus on as we go through this. Like, I don't think he's going to come out here and, be given a lot of policy positions and stuff like that. It's going to be very vague stuff. But I want us to be able to see how well this guy is at being the politician. It is, again, the state of, not the state, but the manner in which California is right now is a very strong. Do you want to come up here, Morty? Hey, we got Morty in the building. What's up? So yeah, it's about more than just, do we agree? Do we disagree? Is he funny? Is he not? This is his campaign. his campaign has begun with all of this. Shout out to Glow and Dark. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. What it does, what it do, what it be, what it is. Oh, actually, real quick, in case they try, I mean, you know, these liberals, they don't like to share. So just in case, where was it? If we do that, what does that look like on vertical? Oh, that blocks the whole thing. All right, I'm going to try to make something. Ooh, I don't know. So, okay, if we get claimed on vertical, we may have to shut that stream down, but you know, we can use this to hopefully break it up a little bit, and then when he's you know, when it's a single shot, then hopefully won't be broken up too much, but of course we can hope. Shout out to Kevin. Indeed, I'm rocking the Jesus look. Is it working? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
That's been this book, and it's why it was over a multi-year period. This is not one of those political books that I wrote just to, you know, try to get it ahead of some cycle or, you know, in the calendar year. Legitimately.
Would never.
In fact,
legitimately. No, I'm telling you the truth. You know who doesn't say that? People who are telling the truth.
You know, in the calendar year. Legitimately.
People know. They're laughing.
If you think I'm overstating it, this was supposed to have happened this time last year, but the fires in Los Angeles delayed it. And so
whose fault was that?
That gave me even more time to dive even deeper and to try to paint a picture that's a little richer than the one that you may necessarily see, or you might see on nightly news, particularly in Fox. You know, it's not a politician's book. It's not about the politician. It's about what shaped me, the events, the travail.
And so it's a strictly politician's book. That's how you have to listen to these people. That's how you have to listen to these people. Shout out to Equality and Deference because vagina. Over on Rumble. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Said liked and shared again. Guys, thank you so very, very much. That stuff is free and easy. It helps out so much. It does not matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link. Thank you so much. Equality said the cyborg and the face of soy. Yup. Text that I thought Gavin Newsom couldn't read good. Well, that's only when he's in front of black people. And I'm pretty sure it was the same, not this night, but this same tour. Or maybe it was. Maybe it was the same night. I'm not sure. I feel like I would have heard about this specific thing and the fact that Harry Sisson was there if it was this one, but I'm pretty sure it was this book tour. Lomo said, can we agree that Newsom successfully spent billions of dollars to combat homelessness, and because of his determination and compassion, he created more homeless people? Yep. Disgusting.
The setbacks, self-imposed, otherwise, the insecurities, anxieties, the regrets, you know, and it ultimately is a love letter to my mom and my dad. And that
one's in the chat if we count that as clapter. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. One's in the chat if that's clapter.
My dad. And that became the most precious part of this. All that grit and resilience, that hard work single moms go through every single day, working 2-3 jobs, and you know, and being with her when she took her last breath, which was the hardest part to write in this book.
Well,
told you, he killed her.
On that point, I mean, when I was reading this book in preparation, I've read a lot of politicians' books. This is nothing like that. This is.
Have you though? Actually, you know what? No. That makes complete and total sense. All Harry Sisson ever reads is the politicians that he already likes telling him why he's right for liking that politician. Oh man, we are gonna wear out this laughter button.
This book in preparation. I've read a lot of politicians' books. This is nothing like that. This is not.
Yeah, we're saying so. Anytime we get that, we're calling it clapter. Anytime we get clapter, we drinking. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised.
See from a politician who may or may not be running for president, but it's up in the air. We don't know. But it's not a book.
Well, we don't know. Let's just all act stupid.
You normally hear from a politician. It's real. It's authentic. It's intimate. So why go that angle? Why not just put out the politician book?
Because I'm on the other side now. I think it's reflected in my social media. It's reflected in, you know, just trying to show up and meet this moment.
No dilly-dilly, but.
You know, I talk about, you know, I think it was Oscar Wilde who said, you know, the first duty in life is that we all strike a pose. And the second duty, no one's really figured out. And I'm in that second phase of my life. You know, I struck a pose I put a
I was gonna say, I feel like you're still in that first phase of striking a pose.
mask on, and at times
I mean, he's saying it in his own words, guys.
I struck a pose. I put a mask on, and at times my face grew into it, becoming someone I couldn't even recognize. My mother and dad didn't even recognize. Some of my friends, family didn't recognize.
Demonic.
And I try to understand that.
Lizard people.
What was that about? Who was I becoming? In this process, when I say discovery, I literally have learned more about myself. And I'm just now on the other side. Honestly, I do this. It's just deep breath. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, my mom said it was okay to be average. I hated her for that. But I now understand.
Is this it? Is this it?
Why she told me that. She
I'm
was
just
struggling
like
with a
you.
kid who was struggling to read and write, with an adult who still doesn't read speeches. You've never seen me read a speech because I can't. And that's, I'm not trying to, it's not some story of sorrow, just a fact. But the fact was I never thanked my mother or even understood the struggle she went through raising a kid that was struggling. It was always through the lens and prism of me. Come on, Mom.
And as he said, he is still in that stage. Hasn't figured out what's next after me. After running a state for how long? Oh, that's not how you do that. How long has Newsom been governor? Really? Only 2019? I feel like it's been a lot longer than that. But Jesus, who was before him? Who was governor before Newsom? Jerry Brown. Okay, I don't know that name. Interesting. I had a feeling that it was that he was there longer, just because he's taken over. But that's even worse in terms of 2028. Not good. You got to finish it, Glow. You got to finish it.
Not appreciating all that she had gone through. Not appreciating what she went through when she grew up. I describe in this book. There's a scene where her father, when she was a young daughter. There was a roaring fire and took the twins, my mom and her sister, and threw them against the fireplace and put a gun to their head. I didn't know about this. I didn't know how that shaped her. I just knew that my grandfather committed suicide.
So what you're saying is you're used to being in a situation where you don't know what the fuck is going on and you pretend to anyway, right? He's been in politics for a while. I just personally don't care about the his entire past. But I thought he'd been in the governor's office a little bit longer. He did Dr. Death's mom in what was it? Oh, wait, what? I don't. I'm not sure. Are they though? Oh shit! I was already here. Are they though?
I vaguely knew about his time as a prisoner of war. He marched in Corregidor. Talk a lot about the Bataan Death March, but not Corregidor. And he came back broken.
Welcome, Dr.
Drinking, violent at times. I didn't know how that shaped her and how it shaped me. And so this book
turned you into a scumbag.
Is about all of that. And I discovered not just,
He doesn't know what? Is that true? Why would he not have a birth certificate? Welcome to the party, Jason.
All of that. And I discovered not just, about my relationship to my mom, but also discovered the relationship I want with my kids, the relationship I want with my wife.
Doesn't he have a trans kid or something like that, or a queer kid or something like that?
How I was walking down a path that was very similar to my father's. And now the ability to reconcile that and to be more present is all part of this, that it's okay. You are who you are. It's messy. Life's.
And so we see the angle as if we didn't, as if it wasn't completely encapsulated. And I'm just dumb, just like you. If it wasn't completely encapsulated in that, we can see that this is a tour to don't forget that this was the guy at the French Laundry during lockdown when you weren't allowed to do this, that, or whatever, specifically in California. And he was out doing this, that, and anything he pleased with the mucky-to-mucks and doing rules for thee, but not for me. But he's just like you. He's just like you, guys.
Part of this, that it's okay. You are who you are. It's messy. Life's messy. We make mistakes. And so this is not a sanitized work. This is me scrutinizing myself and diving deeper and trying to really understand the why.
Okay. So tell us what that why is. Prove to us that you are someone different than you were 6 months ago.
Why did I say that? Why did I do that? What's the real motivation? Is it ego? Did I try to be something? You know, what is this about my resume values?
Great questions.
Or is it about
Got
my
any
eulogy
answers?
values? You know, what, and who am I becoming? So it was even, I said this, if no one else bought it, it was a gift for me. And
we're gonna do that too. Anytime he pulls up the book, we'll drink for the book, we'll drink for the point, and we'll drink for the clapter. Let's go. We gonna get drunk tonight.
I said this, if no one else bought it, it was a gift for me. And it's a gift that I wanted to give my 4 kids.
Wow. Yeah.
Really? All right. Well, we definitely got to do a side quest for that. Does Gavin Newsom have a birth certificate? Now, of course, we're going with ChatGPT, so we'll see. So it says they do. But he said it in an interview about voter ID, didn't he? Gavin Newsom is a birthing person. That. I'm gonna dilly. Dilly fucking dilly. So, yes, the claim you're referring to comes from Newsom made discussing the SAVE Act. Not a random. I didn't say it was a random interview. ChatGPT. Jesus Christ. According to multiple, Newsom pushed back on the idea of requiring documentary like a passport. By noting that many Americans don't keep their birth certificates readily available. In that context, he reportedly said something along the lines of, you got to find your birth certificate. I have no clue where mine is, to illustrate the difficulty of that. I don't really care. So, okay, let's see. But what about Bernie Sanders? He has also said this about Newsom. No E on the end of Newsom, guys. Recent comments circulating online about not knowing where his birth certificate was. No, that's not what I'm asking. Many star conservative right-leaning outlets. All right, we might need to retire ChatGPT and go with Grok. I just hate X so much. The Sisson Center says something about his birth. No, I meant. So wait, you're saying, Jason, you're saying that Bernie said that Bernie doesn't have a birth certificate, or Bernie said that Newsom doesn't have a birth certificate? We'll come back to that. Let's dive back in here.
Well, I actually have a question about the title. It's Young Man in a Hurry. And you talk about your early life, the desire you felt to keep going and do more. And I'm curious, can you define that hurry? What was that hurry? What motivated that hurry? And do you still feel that today?
Yeah, if your mom says it's okay to be average, that may create a chip on your shoulder. If you're sitting in the back of the classroom with your head down and, Mr. Morris's class, and they ask you to read a chapter and everybody starts laughing at you, then you may have a little chip on your shoulder. And you try to make up for that, back to that mask you put on. I put on a suit in high school.
A skin suit? Bro, what is he doing? And yet, he can still win. He is telling you that he wears a skin suit.
School. Talk about a mask. I talk about something. I mean, it's, you can roll your eyes, but it's sort of what this metamorphosis of sorts. Talk about a mask is when I found Dippity-Doo hair gel. My sophomore to junior.
And I just bathed in it. I wanted to feel that slimy all the time.
Year. Because I fell in love with this character on Remington Steele when Pierce Brosnan was a detective. And I just wanted to be like him. And so that's why I came to school in a suit. There's a scene in here with my sister saying.
That gets a screenshot for the end of the year. You cannot do that. So in case you guys forgot, what are you doing? Are you too old to jump now? You're too old to jump. Okay, you don't have to be there. Okay. So we're gonna look back at that for New Year's. But I also Guys, if you have not checked out the playlist that I've made on the channel, it's a great way to see the stuff that you missed that without having to look through everything. Try to organize it pretty well. But we have one for 2026. So every single stream in 2026. So New Year's, we're going to be able to look through and see exactly what we missed. But I said, I am human. I am totally human. Just like you humans, I am human. Believe me. Pretty much. And so I Googled, and Bernie admitted he doesn't know how to get a birth certificate. That's not the same thing as not having one. And he does know. He is what we call lying. But I don't think that means that he's saying that he doesn't have one. Lomo said, ideology and the propaganda of Marxist left infiltrates every institution they occupy, every company they work at, every word they use in regular conversations. Their brains are programmed. Bingo. And if we don't do anything about that, then it's just going to take over more and more and more and more people. And it's taking over more people anyway, but we at least got to fight. We at least got to fight for our culture, guys, because this slimy fuck does not care about it.
School in a suit. There's a scene in here with my sister saying, "Oh, why do you have to be such a dork?" She said, "You're embarrassing me," and she tried to buy me a pair of jeans.
Guamtech, look.
But that's the curse and the blessing of life. Back to the pose. And so that's a little bit.
Like, if you're driving, you didn't see, just let me know when you get a chance to look again.
That young man was always in a hurry, and it really came in a profound and deep way for me. I talk about being there with my mom for her last breath. I
told you, he was the last one there. He killed his mom. Shout out to Craig over on Rumble. Welcome to the party. We are trying to see if we can see through the bullshit of this reptilian. Welcome.
Way for me. I talk about being there with my mom for her last breath. I got a phone call. You talk about a pattern interrupt, a voice message. And it was from my mom saying, "Hello. Next Thursday will be my last day. And if you're interested, you may want to drop by before then." I literally have that voicemail to this day.
That is weird. Now, I mean, there's definitely an aspect of, the when you get older, wanting to, especially if you know that you're dying, if you're in hospice, wanting everything to be set. But the way that this is so not human. This is so not, hey, just let you know, this is going to be my last day, just in case you want to stop by. That didn't happen. Play the fucking voicemail. That no human being speaks like that. No one. Shout out to Jason with the $2. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, that comes with a treat for Morty, who is getting comfortable on my hooded robe. That is quite comfy. Thank you to Guamtech for that. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you. So very, very much, guys. Remember that stream goal. If we hit 15 donos or a $75 total, not only does Morty get a special treat, but I also have to do a push-up for every $2. And I am puny. I need your help. Thank you.
By before then. Okay. I literally have that voicemail to this day. Kept it on a little tape recorder.
Live.
And what do you do in that circumstance?
On a tape recorder in 2018. She called you on a tape recorder?
What?
You're lying. On a tape recorder? She was in the hospital or at home or whatever. And she played a tape, recorded a tape, and then called you and played that tape?
What?
That's not how phones work. What are you talking about?
You may want to drop by before then. I literally have that voicemail to this day. Kept it on a little tape recorder. And what do you do in that circumstance? I immediately called my sister. What is going on? And she was stunned. I didn't know. Because that young man in a hurry was only focused on himself. I was hustling, running my restaurant, a few little small businesses. I was a county supervisor. And it was just me. And I didn't realize how sick she'd been with breast cancer. I'd come back. She'd survived one round of it. And I just frankly took it for granted that she'll be okay the second time.
And she wasn't.
And she said that next Thursday she did an assisted suicide back when it was illegal in California. Interesting.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to you, right? Whatever. I mean, hey, it's California. Laws are, whatever. They're just really guidelines here.
She did an assisted suicide back when it was illegal in California. Interesting, I signed the bill to make it legal because of that experience. And
my mom wanted to kill herself, so wanted to make sure that all your moms could kill themselves too. And as you can hear, and again, I don't know, this isn't clapter. This is a general applause. They really believe, it is a good thing that you enabled people to end themselves.
And I say this, and I deeply do respect people that feel very differently. But we had a courageous doctor that was willing to lose his license. And I'll never forget those last few days being with my mom trying to cook.
What was that little Matthew McConaughey? What was that?
And
is he saying that he was the doctor, or is that like a motion that there was something going on with her heart? Like what?
And I say this, and I deeply do respect people that feel very differently. But we had a courageous doctor that was willing to lose his license.
Is that what that means? He's the doctor?
And
I don't know.
I'll never forget those last few days being with my mom trying to cook whatever she can eat, watching, an Antique Roadshow, NPR, PBS with her every night, and being there and the pain she was in. And
yeah, I'd be in pain if I had to spend all day with you too, pal.
The pain then that was expressed by being with her.
What are we doing?
For that last few hours. My sister and I walking in after the rest of the family came in to say goodbyes. Everybody
can't make this shit up.
Buddy's in the living room, and she wanted her 2 kids to be with her. And the doctor just left, and she
wanted her 2 kids to be with her. But she also just said, hey, just so you know, on Thursday, you might want to stop by. You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. I still have it on a tape recorder. What the fuck? So Craig, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic with that, but he essentially enabled the laws that that she did assisted suicide, and that wasn't legal. So and he was like, some doctor risked his license. So I'm gonna take that he's saying I'm the doctor that was going to lose his license, and so I killed my mom. I mean, maybe I've got that wrong. Feel free to correct me. Listen, I can't read just like you can. I had a low GPA just like you did. I wanted to let my mom just like you do. Oh my God. Oh my God. And again, I need to highlight the fact that the people on the other side of the aisle, they don't understand that this is what's being said. The first order thinking only allows them to see the words at face value. And so they have an inability to look deeper and see that this is actually what he's saying. It's not a good thing. He said it in a way that sounded nice and then looked at you and stopped talking. He said, oh, it's my turn to clap. But this is what he's saying.
And she wanted her 2 kids to be with her. And the doctor had just left, and she's beginning to sort of come in and out, looking through old photos. My sister on the left, I'm on the right, both holding her hand. And my sister, who's just extraordinary, she said, I can't take it. She just ran out. And I was left my own. I thought I couldn't leave her behind. She's still breathing. And I was there as she...
I don't know. Costco Law School, welcome to the party. Said, wasn't that the thing with the Vogons from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? They wouldn't act to save their own mother from a bug bladder beast without proper paperwork. Well, I did not. I definitely missed Hitchhiker's Guide, so I'll see if you guys. But I mean, sounds about right. Newsom uses Zer pronouns. Again, not surprised. This guy is just exactly who you think he is. I know. But hey, I'm always asking you guys about movie nights and how, because of the fact that my parents are older and they only came to America in the 80s, that there was a big chunk of Americana, pop culture, music, movies, and stuff that I missed out on because I didn't have parents to pass it down to me because they were, doing their own thing. They weren't in America. They didn't grow up with American pop culture. So all the fucking shit, I'm down to watch the stuff with you guys, but nobody joins the Discord. Nobody's the people who join the Discord don't set up movie nights. So I'm trying to do it.
She's still breathing. And I was there as she took these violent last breaths. There was nothing. This was not one of those beautiful movies where the credits come up. And I sat there for almost 20 minutes, just holding her hand with my head on her chest. And saying all the things that I didn't even have the guts to say 20 minutes before. And I used to, and this is again, that's why I hope everyone writes their own story. I used to resent her for that. Why did she make me do that? Because I struggle with that.
Because oh man, you see how these people are so close. Why did I struggle with killing my mother? Why? I don't quite understand. Why? Maybe because it's bad. You ever think of that? We have plenty of morphine, fentanyl type stuff. Let her go out in style. Let's say your buddy Dave Smith starts his stream at 9 p.m. How much do you want to bet? It's going to sound like any other lefty stream. Interesting. Well, we can definitely pop in and see what's good. Remind me around like 9:30, 10 o'clock if you're still here, because that way we can speed it up a little bit and see what he's saying. But I am very interested because I'm afraid that it is going to be too much like any other lefty stream. I'm hoping that it's not. I'm hoping that he's going to have his issues with everything that's going on. And he's talking about, see, the 12-day war is not a 12-day war. It's still going on and all that stuff. But I'm hoping that we'll see like, okay, well, at least if we're going to do this stuff, then, these surgical strikes are a lot better than boots on the ground and so on and so forth. But he's probably going to be like, well, that's what's next. So I don't know. Shout out to Goob. Welcome. Said Newsom is such a douche. Indeed, he is. Welcome. Listen again. He's talking about his mother dying. His mother dying at his hand because assisted suicide is illegal in the state of California. This is the situation that he's talking about.
I hope everyone writes their own story. I used to resent her for that. Why did she make me do that? Because I struggle with that. Just
as one should.
The horror of that. And now I think about it, Harry, and I don't know if maybe it's my time of life, maybe it's my state of mind.
So Quality said, I've seen some of what Dave Smith has said, and he's fucking right. The leftists aren't wrong about everything. That's why I'm not looking to, that's why I'm very interested to hear what he has to say. Because I don't, again, as you guys know, the foreign affairs and, the globalist type military, that's not really my strong suit. So I do look to other people who know better. Yeah, we'll see. All right, now I'm back in.
Think about it, Harry, and I don't know if maybe it's my time of life, maybe it's my state of mind. I now think about it. Oh, I'm still holding her hand.
I mean, hey, when she starts running, we will definitely be covering it.
Her breaths are my breath. And how blessed I am that she was there for me and gave me that gift of being there at the end of her life, and how I can breathe new life into my relationships with my kids and those I love. So
he was saying like, okay, so he did say that she didn't make it to see him be governor. So he said his dad died in before 2019 because he saw the inauguration, but he didn't get into office until 2019. All right, I'll give him a little bit more credit there. If it was 2002, then the tape makes a little bit more sense. But still, something fishy.
Into my relationships with my kids and those I love. So that's what this book's about. If you came here for 10-point plan for America's renewal, those are the easy ones to write.
Are they though? So rattle them off, homie. Rattle them off real quick. We don't have to spend the whole time. Just give us the first 5. That's so easy. It's so easy. What's the first 5?
Those are the easy ones to write. This one, a little bit more challenging.
Auto pen. Just like our buddy Biden.
Oh, man. Well, I wanted to ask this question later, but since we're on the topic, I mean, the part of the book where you're describing your mother's passing is truly heartbreaking. I had to put the book down. I was like, this is heavy. And you are somebody who has been personally touched by cancer, as there are so many Americans out there. And, you turn around, you're a governor of a state, you turn around,
Greg said if he killed his mother, why has he not been arrested for murder? Because, I mean, we have the entire Epstein files thing going on. Do you think everybody who does wrong things in government gets arrested for it? He's on stage talking about it. If they were going to arrest him, they would have arrested him. They have the, whatever situation they had where he was able to do this or that, whatever. And again, if I'm misunderstanding, when he goes, some doctor almost lost their license because they were going to do that. Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding what he's saying, but that's a pretty strong signal. Yep. Wonder Bucket, welcome. Said Autopen was the most evil Decepticon. Indeed.
See Donald Trump and RFK Jr. and all these guys. And they're cutting cancer research. They're cutting pediatric cancer research. We have mRNA vaccines right now, the same ones you use for COVID, that are being developed to target pancreatic cancer, liver cancer, lung cancer. It's a remarkable development in science. And yet RFK Jr. cut $500 million in funding for that research.
Yeah, but science is good. So all science is good, right?
And so I'm wondering, like, as someone who's been personally touched by cancer, how do you make sense of that? Like, what's your reaction?
You crawl out of your skin.
Yeah.
But you also realize you have agency. You can shape the future. And I think this goes to,
I like that.
The broader, sort of pulling in a thread. We're not bystanders in this world. Future is not just something to experience, it's something to manifest. It's decisions, not conditions, that determine our fate.
Autopens, roll out.
The future.
Am I even doing the right voice? Is that the right one? Like, that's the guy with the Autobots. Is that one? I don't remember Transformers like that.
Experience is something to manifest. It's decisions, not conditions, that determine our fate and future. And it's the approach we're trying to take to a myriad of issues, not just on health, but across the spectrum. And it goes, frankly, to some of my frustration as well. And I say this with love with my party. Sometimes we sit back. We're on our heels. We're not leaning in. We're being shape-shifted, not shape-shifting.
Bro. This is the fourth reference to him not being a human that he said, and we're only 20 minutes in. What the fuck? Shout out to Morgan's Hammer over on Rumble. Welcome to the party said, liked, and shared again. Guys, thank you so very, very much. Once again, it is free and easy. And it helps out so much. It does not even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link. Just by you telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. Thank you, and welcome to the party. Morgan's Hammer said, oh yeah, the government should dump infinite money into all funding. Yeah, but it sounds nice, so we should pay for it. That's the framing here. It sounds nice, so we should pay for it. Shout out to Bubba. Welcome. Said Gavin is a tool. Yup. At least tools are useful, though, right? Costco said, I would imagine Gavin Newsom crawls out of his skin a lot because he's a lizard person in a human suit. Bingo. Yep. That's the fourth time. He's talked about something relating to wearing a mask, wearing skin, a skin suit, and now what is it they just said? Crawls out of his skin. Like, bro, top of mind, Freudian slip. What are we talking about? Exactly. You guys see it.
We're not leaning in. We're being shape-shifted, not shape-shifting. I had the privilege as governor, not just to complain about what they're doing at HHS and CDC, I had the ability.
Did you see De Niro crying his eyes out over Trump? I did not. I'm assuming we're talking about Robert De Niro? Robert De Niro Trump. 108 guy. You guys can see that. Sorry. Is it this one here?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Miles.
And it's sad because it's like, come on. De Niro was just De Niro! And then social media comes around and it's like, oh, you're just a really good actor.
5 months. The bottom line is that I feel betrayed by my country.
Even USA Today fucking cut the scene.
5 months. The bottom line is that I feel betrayed by my country. It doesn't have to be perfect, but
goddamn. I thought he said betray. I thought he said betrayed by my party. And I was like, oh, all right, bet. Nope, by my country. It's the country that is failing you, right, Robert? Oh, man.
5 months. The bottom line is that I feel betrayed by my country. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to return to the values that gave us our strength and humanity.
So that's why I'm going to vote completely in the opposite direction. We're all lizard people on stolen land. Dilly dilly. Facts are facts, all right, baby? Bone Dog said he needs to get his teat levels tested. Yikes. Yikes. What a beta.
Perfect, but it does need to return to the values that gave us our strength and humanity. And if you want our leaders to be accountable, if you're devoted to the Constitution and the rule of law, if you want the United States of America to be worthy of your love, be ready to take this to the streets together, and we will take our country back.
They're like, all right, that's about as much as we need. Nicole. That's not how you spell Nicole, is it? Oh, yeah. Stupid. Wallace with like that? Or Wallace like that?
Robert De Niro. And we've also
Jesus. Well, here, let me get this. Oh, wait. Did we just skip it? All right. Well, fuck it. Then if you'd like to see this on your own, link in the description. We got some newbies. We got he's being interviewed and started crying like the actor he is. Yep. Shout out to Mad Rush. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Deport him to Wakanda. Wakanda forever. All right, let's see. What do we got here?
44.
Yeah. I mean, you're always about lifting up everybody around you. Everybody.
Of course.
Why is that?
Is he?
You have to.
You
have to lift people up.
Why?
You have to bring them together. Period. You can't divide people. You can't win that way.
Loser. Beta.
It's a no-win situation. And look what we have. Look who we have there. It's almost like a destiny to have this thing there, attempting to destroy this country, and maybe not even understanding why. So it's up to us to protect the country
That we love.
Yes.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
You weren't supposed to make me cry. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. We talked about how this is the moment. This is the moment that it goes one way or the other.
That's right.
You think it's going the other way?
I don't know. All I know is people have to resist. There's no easy way. It's not going to come to you easy. You know, there's a time when you know in your own life, in your own survival, you better do this. You better jump and run through the fire. Because if you don't run through the fire, you're not getting out.
Okay, what fire or what are you talking about?
And that's what we have to do.
I'm glad I get to run next to you.
Oh my
Let's hear
God,
what
I
they
just
say.
threw up in my mouth. Everything about it makes my skin crawl. The worst, though, is that she's not crying. She wants us to believe that she's crying.
Oh, yes, that goes the other way. That's not clapter, but I'm crying too because what you said was so emotional, right? Well, let's shout out, baby, Mahara. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Only knows when he's crying about Trump. That's all the relevance he has. That's all the relevance he has. He used to be the taxi driver guy. And now he is gay. Why are you gay? My country failed me. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be full of Democrats. Sounds about right. That's why we gotta learn to translate the leftist inese. Is De Niro telling me to fight like hell? I don't think he would do that because we know how angry he gets about those words. It makes her very tight skin crawl.
Like in solidarity.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on with her face?
With him, with her very nasal delivery, like, you weren't supposed to make me cry. You weren't supposed to make me cry. So glad I get to run with you. It's so weird. Who does that? Who that's not
Weird.
crying, pretends they're crying when, let's face it, Robert De Niro is an elderly man now. And a lot of times when men in particular become elderly, they get a lot closer to tears very often. You know, we saw it with H.W. Bush. We've seen it with quite a few men, and it can be kind of sweet. It's not sweet here, but I think Robert De Niro, he's emotionally unregulated. All right. And there becomes almost a responsibility by the news anchor not to put this person on. Really, truly. I trust me, I'm not going to name names, but I've had this experience where I then say, we can't book that person again because they're emotionally unregulated or they've crossed over to a place where
blacklisted. All right. So just yet another example of Hollywood actors being so passionate and so emotional about these issues that they are so deeply entrenched and know exactly what's going on. Because remember, he just gave us specific tips on what to do. Oh, wait, he did not. Let's dive back into Newsom.
Governor, not just to complain about what they're doing at HHS and CDC, had the ability to come up with a West Coast offense.
And that means locking down the entire state and setting the tone for the rest of the country for 3 years. Smart.
Reached out to the governors of Oregon and Washington and governor of Hawaii, and we created our own CDC. We hired the former director of the CDC.
Okay, and how much did that cost? And how much did it change from places like Texas or Florida? Right.
We're putting out our own guidelines. We're championing science. We're stepping up. We did the same thing. We created a reproductive freedom alliance after Dobbs. 24 governors coming together, sharing best practices in real time to try to organize around these things. Not, as Nancy would say, agonize, but organize, building partnerships, building capacity, developing a muscle to push back, to lean in, to meet this moment head on. And so that's the approach we're trying to take in every respect. And we're also now calling out those that I think are a little complicit in this moment.
Ooh, who's in trouble? Who's in trouble with Daddy Gavin?
Those are a little timid in this moment. You know, my talk about social media lens that I've put up to Trump and the Trump administration. And
why were you using real bullets?
Some of my friends on Fox said, that my mother should, be ashamed and wash my mouth out with soap because of some of the tweets I put out that mirror Donald Trump's tweets, where they didn't say one word.
Rent free.
Not one word was ever spoken about Donald Trump dressing up as a pope. Not one word was ever spoken about Donald Trump dressing up as Superman or putting his face on Mount Rushmore in all caps. They didn't say a word about any of that. How dare we put a lens in a mirror up to not only Trump, but those that are enabling Trump, the folks on the propaganda networks.
You mean the overwhelming majority of people? Is that who you mean? The people enabling Trump? We literally had an election and won by a huge margin. That's your enemy? Okay, if you say so. Yeah, right. Just the high-speed rail. How's that going? Shout out to Jason said, I'm not mad. I'm going to jackknife my SUV to block you because I love you. Yeah, that's normal behavior. Normal behavior. Psych. We ain't doing all that. All right.
Trump, but those that are enabling Trump, the folks on the propaganda networks that every single day are countenancing that. And so it's an approach, it's a mindset, and it's one, yes, shaped by the grit of a single mom working 3 jobs who never complained, never explained, that lived in the living room for most of the homes. I described each one of those houses with the addresses where we were renting out her bedroom so she can help pay the rent. We were a foster family growing up where she was coming home, and the reason she worked at Ramona's restaurant was because she got a bunch of food she can bring home to the kids. I don't want to overstate that relationship to the economy.
Do you think people paid for this? I would be very disappointed if I'd paid for this. But, I mean, I guess that really is kind of the liberal thing of just vomit my opinions back at me.
Economic reality, Mike, but I'm not going to understate it because she deserves the truth. And it's hard, the truth, because the caricature so much in politics, you get defined, and I talk about this in the book. How
it is hard for you, isn't it?
I played into the stereotype of me. Back to the suits and the shoes.
That's 5 times talking about wearing a skin suit.
Hair, the whole thing. And the relationship I had with a father that was proximate to privilege. Didn't die with any money, died with books, a second mortgage in a beautiful town in the gold rush country of Dutch Flat. But relationships with a very wealthy family that have also defined a tremendous amount of my life and define the privileges that I've enjoyed along the way. In this,
And I need to apologize to you because I'm so privileged and white. Shout out to not Jeremy Renner. Welcome. I mean, nothing specific. He was talking about how, he helped let his mom die, assisted suicide before it was legal. And but right now he's on his book tour and he's running for president. He is running for president.
Amount of my life and define the privileges that I've enjoyed along the way. In this book is also about that. I wouldn't suggest it's a dialectic, but that duality, at times that contradictions of walking in both worlds. But always
both of which worlds? Shout out to Behave. Welcome to the party. Costco Law School said, let's try that again. How do you basically tell the world you think most black people can't read while claiming to be illiterate yourself and just continue running for president? What reality is it? Unfortunately, the only reality we can experience. It is all real. It's a fair question. I like to do. I mean, this is kind of normal politician stuff. Yeah, but I mean, that's why we need to pay attention because he is likely going to be the Democratic nominee.
always walking back home to a mom that had a different sensibility and a reaction to my father's world. And I think it's very much the world we're living in.
Did you really? Oh, I need a photo of each single page. Each single page will go through the whole thing.
Today, haves and have-nots. My mom, she couldn't even live on
I'm just like you. I'm the have-nots at the French Laundry.
4 paychecks, let alone 52. That's why she was doing that extra part-time work. And that's
all right. Well, step one is paying attention and getting familiarized with who he is at the start so that as he changes and continues to get more scrutiny, that we can look back to this and be like, hey, didn't you say something different 3 years ago? You got him.
let alone 52. That's why she was doing that extra part-time work. And that's the reality for more and more millions of people today. And so that's also part of what I wanted to express, that journey I've been on and that experience and that perspective that shapes so much of my belief system.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what is that belief system? Again, I'm not asking you to lay out your 10-point policy plan, but can you give some substance? Just like, well, things are hard and stuff is bad, and we talk about things and stuff.
Well, you've talked about this a little bit, but I'd love to dive in a little bit more about
Morty's
the different
hungry,
relationship you have
guys.
with your mother
Morty
versus your
is
father.
hungry.
Your mother, she was holding 3 jobs at one point. Your father left early. She was holding it down. She was taking care of you and your sister. She was the one that when you struck out at Little League, which you should tell, that's a great story as well. She was the one that took you out to the baseball field and threw you pitches until you got it right.
Well, really, I didn't. So I was anyone that has a kid who plays baseball or play baseball themselves, I was a right fielder in Little League.
E-Dog said, remember, MAGA, when you get that weird feeling of self-reflection when faced with facts, deflect, call it lies, then repeat the leader's name. I think, I'm not quite sure. Projection! Where did they come up with this shit?
Some of you know that. So unsurprisingly, in the ninth batter, the third inning, I'd come up for the first time, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. Next time up, ball 1, strike 1, 2, 3. Third time, just didn't even try it. So I remember striking out.
I mean, to its core, this is so. I hate using this terminology, but I hate I hate using. It's so liberal coded. Like, oh guys, I'm just so poor and bad and everything, but you should vote for me because I'm just like you. It's like, why are you even framing yourself like this? If you want to pose yourself as someone who deserves to run the free fucking world, then maybe we don't want somebody who's a retard. Just saying. Shout out to Box. Welcome to the party. Yep, he let his mom die. he let his mom kill herself, to be more specific. We also got China Virus. Welcome. And we got King Nirvana. Very good to see you guys. Excuse me. China Virus says, common sense of politics. Those who should be politicians never strive to be politicians.
Bingo.
Yup. Yeah. I mean, crazy ass behave. A president that can read. Okay, I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we can do that for you. I didn't either, so I wouldn't spend too much time thinking about it. Those who strive to be politicians are usually those who shouldn't be in politics. Enter Gavin Newsom.
Third time, just didn't even try. So I remember striking out 3 times.
Didn't even try.
Was pitching. I played for the great Round Table Pizza, my local Little League, Joe Wagner Field. And I came back demoralized.
I know places and stuff in the neighborhood like you do.
My mom made the end of the game, and I was just crushed. And we were nearby then, Joe Wagner. And so I got home, and I'm quitting. This is the worst thing. Why are you making me do this? This is the worst thing. And she got a bucket of balls, and this was after everyone left, and went right back out on the field. And she was
Where was your father?
A really great athlete, and I describe her athleticism. And she threw the balls to me for about an hour. And I never understood what that meant until the day I got a partial baseball scholarship to get into college. And that's how I got into college. That's the reason I got into 4-year college. But it was that example.
Because remember, guys, I'm fucking stupid, but, practice.
It's that.
I mean,
that's
enough,
my mom.
Like,
that's mom.
And again, yeah, fair enough. If that's your story, like, no shade as a life story, but that's not really what I'm looking for.
Moms.
I'm not a leader.
That's all of you that love their kids.
Exactly. A resident lefty box, and I just want a normal dude for a president.
Bingo.
Preferably smarter than me. Yes, we have ran the necessary. I've been trying to think of an analogy as to where Trump's place in this whole thing is, and I decided to watch all the Fast and the Furious movies because I'd only seen like the first 2 or 3, and so my brain is a little Fast and Furious sated right now. But it seems like, stick with me here. It seems like, how all throughout the Fast and Furious movies they have the NOS button. But every single time they're in a race, somebody who's not the main character uses the NOS too early. And then whether it's Vin Diesel or whoever, too early, bro. And then in the same way, it feels like Trump was political NOS. That we needed a little but now that's good. We're already ahead. We're already ahead. And there's still a lot of shit to be dealt with. So maybe just a normal dude who's smart, or at least smarter than me, is what we need. Welcome to the party. He's talking baseball to relate to the guys. He was a dumb jock. Baseball is his agenda. And again, I mean, fair enough if that's if that's where you come from. But how then does that make you somebody that whether or not I agree with politics, that somebody who I could support? Because in the same way that I expect, in the same way that I've respected Joe Biden when he was as the leader, I didn't necessarily have much respect for him, but I respected the position he was in. In the same way I expect liberals to respect the office of presidency while it's Trump, I would like to be able to respect that office. And if the dude can't fucking read, then what are we talking about? Morgoth's Hammer said, one of the many ironies of politics. Basically, anyone who wants to be in politics should be disqualified for public service. Yep, indeed. Yet the NOS off in the power band, it's not their fault. I don't know cars that well enough. I don't know what a power band is, but probably right. The text said, my belief, Trump is just a blunt New Yorker who's going to tell you how it is. And yeah, and that was a necessary thing, but and that got us ahead. That got us ahead in terms of moving the culture forward to where, everything was all buttoned up and, well, we've got to be exactly right and presidential and all that stuff. That was good. But we're out of the NOS now. So we got to go back to some type of normalcy. I can't speak for other people, but if anybody ever asked me, I explicitly stated that I respected the office of the presidency. As you'll learn, if you're smart enough to stick around for a while, I'm not your average Joe. So you could pretend that you know who I am, but you don't know shit about Jack. But you can learn.
That's all of you that love their kids. And what was the lesson that night? That was a lesson in persistence and not giving up. It wasn't a baseball lesson. And what a gift. Those are magical moments you look back in your life. Those are the moments that shape you. You don't even realize your mind is being stretched. And it's never going to go back to its original form.
Yeah, dude. So far, we are 27 minutes into their discussion. 5 different times, he's made a reference to wearing a mask or a skin suit or crawling out of his skin. 5 times in 20 minutes. Come on, bro.
Realize your mind is being stretched and it's never going to go back to its original form. And so that story is a special one for me. And it has so many meanings because baseball became so special to me.
Guys, don't forget about the puppy. He is hungry. Let's get him some treats, please.
And, my father, again, my father was there, but in the distance. He really came back in my high school years when, all of a sudden he could bring his buddies and I'm the captain of the basketball team and the captain of the baseball team. And then I got interested in politics and then our relationship began to thrive.
Well, I also want to talk about.
What was that? What was that? This is when I really got in control.
And the captain of the baseball team. And then I got interested in politics and then our relationship began to thrive.
Well, I also want to talk about another experience you had early on in your life, which was you talked about getting bullied and the kids picking on you. The main one you called, and I want to quote this correctly, the bully of Baltimore Avenue.
I remember him. I will find him if he's here.
Oh, there's a point.
Present yourself, sir.
There's a point.
Well, this bully, interestingly enough, and I was interested to learn this, called you Newsom.
Yeah, make it up. True story.
We literally all made it up. We literally all made it up.
That before.
Let me cut you off.
Go ahead.
So last June, you may recall, 4,000 National Guard were federalized in the state of California. 700 active duty Marines were not sent overseas. They were sent to the second largest city in the United States of America, the full militarization of an American city, a war on American people. That happened in California first last June.
Mods, remember I need you to be helping with reminders and stuff. I'm about to start taking badges.
And that happened through a conversation I had with Donald Trump the night before he announced on Truth Social that he was federalizing the Guard. I'll never forget the conversation. It was 17 minutes. And the reason I never forgot it is there's oversight hearings and I'm likely to go in front of Congress to discuss it. So I wrote it out in detail. Here's how the conversation went. It's 11
had to remember all my lies,
o'clock, 10:30 or so at my time. And I'm getting all these calls from someplace in Palm Beach. And I said, it couldn't be, but I had Susie Wiles text. I said, could it be? She said, it is. And I said, well, I'll call tomorrow. It's so late. She goes, you should call now. Call the president, gets on. He goes, hey, yeah. So I'm expecting, here's the riot act. Hey, what do you think of New Scum? He goes, that's pretty original, huh? What do you think of it? It's pretty original. And I'm like, he goes, yeah, it's pretty good nickname, right? I said, well, no. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, literally, I just finished I said, no, I was called that by an 8th grader, not an 80-year-old when I was a kid. Literally, true story. And I talk about that.
Again, literally, true story. Makes me think you're lying.
That kid right here. And then, but I won't get too much into it, but you'll probably see.
Well, and yeah, Boggs is saying, as someone on the left, that he's not alone in despising Gavin Newsom. I don't think he's wooing anyone at this point, and he's clearly trying. The sad thing is that I don't know how much of the left is going to, like you're saying you're not alone. Okay, that's good. But how not alone are you? Is there a lot of other people that are, hell no? Or is it more, hey, if Gavin's in, then I'm going to vote for him. But, I'd rather this person or that person or that person. Corporate show? Yep. Wait, a cooperate show or a corporate show? Either way.
On C-SPAN in a few months. But the next one, he goes, well, what do you think of MAGA? I'm like, are you seriously? I literally said, are we seriously having this conversation? He goes, that's pretty good, right? I said, but that's not, I even said, that's not original either. I said, Reagan, and he cut me off. He goes, how many hats do you think I sold last month? I said, how many hats? And he said, like 200,000. I said, well, that's pretty impressive. That was a conversation, 17 minutes of that. And then the next day.
Is this, wait, did I miss something? Did he say this is a conversation with Trump? I want to back this up a little bit. Because I thought we were talking about his bully.
And then, but I won't get too much in it, but you'll probably see it on C-SPAN in a few months. But the next one, he goes, well, what do you think of MAGA? I'm like, are you seriously? I literally said, are we seriously having this conversation? He goes, that's pretty good.
We're still talking about his bully, right? What?
Good, right? I said, but that's not, I even said, that's not original either. I said, Reagan.
That's what I'm saying. No, he's talking about in 8th grade when he was talking about some bully. And he's like, I won't get too much into that. And then he said this. Like, in 8th grade, they were talking to you about MAGA? Let's try one more time. Maybe I'm stupid. Let's go all the way back.
80-year-old. Then I
was called that by an 8th grader.
I said, no, I was called that by an 8th grader, not an 80-year-old when I was a kid. Literally, true story.
Oh, okay. I get it. So he's saying, Trump, you're not that smart for calling me Newsom because in 8th grade, they called me Newsom. Maybe it's because you're scummy. Crazy thought. No, actually, we're just wishing it's me having a brain fart. But plenty more where that's coming from. Guys, remember the puppy is hungry, please.
And I talk about that kid right here. And then, but I won't get too much in it, but you'll probably see it on C-SPAN in a few months.
So now he's saying that he's switching to talking about Trump because of the fact that the 8th grade bully gave him the same name, which means he's been scummy his entire life.
The next one, he goes, well, what do you think of MAGA? I'm like, are you seriously? I literally said, are we seriously having this conversation? He goes, that's pretty good, right? I said, but that's not, I even said, that's not original either. I said, Reagan, and he cut me off. He goes, how many hats do you think I sold last month? I said, how many hats? He said, like 200,000. I said, well, that's pretty impressive. That was the conversation, 17 minutes of that.
Okay, how many hats have you sold? What is the story?
Then the next day, we said,
and of course, I asked that rhetorically. He'd be like, oh my God, Trump only cares about selling merch. Or maybe he cares about getting his message out.
At the time, the future happens often in California first. That was America's coming attraction. Little did we know what was going to happen in Washington, D.C., what was going to happen in Chicago, what was going to happen in Minnesota and cities and counties all across the United States, large and small. By the way, we said the same thing when we fought back, fighting fire with fire and not standing back as it relates to Proposition 50 in California. And I appreciate that.
Shout out to the tech. I still don't fully understand the jewels, but either way, very much appreciate it.
I appreciate that. And by the way, on that, there's a lesson there. And forgive me, I don't want to digress too much, but
that's now the 3rd time he asked us to forgive him. Listen to what people say.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
Amazing.
That not the response, but that the President of the United States...
Oh, that counts. That counts as clapped because they didn't know what the fuck he was saying, and people started to clap. Listen.
Wasn't it? That...
He's done talking. Let's start clapping. Bingo. Asking for an apology. Shout out to Equality and Deference because vagina over on Rumble with the $2 Rumble rant. Go on, check if you're driving, or not, if you're not driving, rather. Eat it, motherfucker. What's the matter? There you go. Eat it. Jesus, fuck. Thank you. Gotta keep those donos up, guys. We are coming up on 1.5 hours. Ready to rage. Thank you so very, very much to the new co-sponsor of the stream.
That was amazing, wasn't it? That not the response, but that the President of the United States would call a sitting governor by the name of Greg Abbott and said he's, quote unquote, entitled to 5 seats. Entitled to 5 seats. Governor Abbott, find them for me. They're mine.
So when I say, go find me my car keys, do you believe that that means that I'm asking you to fabricate some car keys? Or perhaps does it mean that I am saying that car keys already exist? The car keys already exist, and I'm simply asking you to find them and give them to me. Which one of those makes more sense? Exactly. Shout out to Behave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We got triple sponsors. My goodness. My goodness. And Morty is loving it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much, guys. I gotta find the sweet spot. There was a, because I got the painting, and then I want to hide the stuff that's behind the speaker, but then I don't want too much headroom. You know what I mean? Anyway, thank you so very, very much. Triple sponsors on the stream.
Governor Abbott, find them for me. They're mine. I remember tweeting something out myself.
They were.
Just putting something out saying, well, we're watching.
And even though they stole the election, I still respected the office.
What's going on, not realizing what ultimately we would do. I am convinced, had we not had the experience in June, I probably would have just gone forward and write an op-ed and prayed that the New York Times would carry it, try to win an argument. So often, respectfully, that's what Democrats do. We just think the facts are going to bear out. We can win the argument. We
actually got it from a client. They were he just does this shit, and I was like, oh, that's cool. He's like, here, you can have it. And I was like, well, fucking put it in the frame.
Can moralize this. Isn't it so sad? Yeah, it's terrible. That's not going to work anymore with Donald Trump. We have to fight fire with fire, or we've got to punch back, and that's exactly...
Punch back? Hold on! Is he calling for violence?
How dare you?
Oh my goodness. Arrest him. He just called for political violence. This is treason. This man must be behind bars according to the Democrat standard.
Have to fight fire with fire, or we've got to punch back, and that's exactly what we did, and people are doing all across the country. You're doing it. The people of Minneapolis have done it.
The people of Minneapolis have definitely done it. People like Renee Good, people like Alex Preddy. What are you appealing to in this moment that actually is something that you think is relevant to the discussion? What exactly do you think? The people of Minnesota have done it. What? They're dying. They're dying in the streets because people like you, aka blue governors, are telling police to stand down while our federal government, which was voted in specifically to get rid of illegal immigrants, you're allowing a situation where you know shit's gonna go down, and then you can get on stage and be like, well, Minneapolis, the people, it's you guys. No, it's you. It's not me, it's you. Fuck off. Holy shit. What a scummy piece of shit. And this is the difference. This is the difference between when there's plenty of issues with Trump. There's plenty of issues with Trump. But at the very least, he's not trying to act like he's something that he's not. He might be a little bit egotistical, and he might think that he's a little bit better than he is, but don't we all? But he gives it to you as it is, for better or for worse. Shout out to Dick Johnson. Welcome to the party. Bog said, not a fan of what they were fighting for, but it made me feel patriotic as fuck. Yeah! Fuck the people that are doing the job that we voted for. That's America, Jack! So in other words, you just felt the opposite of icky, therefore it's good. Got it.
You're doing it. The people of Minneapolis have done it. Otherwise, we'll lose the Republic. It's the 250th anniversary, the best of the...
Fire? What's the fire?
I mean, this is the 250th anniversary.
Yeah.
The Founding Fathers didn't live and die for this.
Okay, what did they die for? What did they die for? Oh, you're just not going to say anything. Got it.
Their historic project was about the best of the Roman Republic, best of Greek democracy, co-equal branches of government, popular sovereignty, the rule of law, not the rule of Don. And I hope it's dawning on everybody. What we're up against. I thought
Yeah. Yeah, I agree there, Box.
of Don.
The rule of Don. You mean the rule that we all democratically voted for? Why would it not be that? We all voted for that. That's how America works. Are you not in favor of our voting system, or what's the problem, Gavin?
And I hope it's dawning on everybody what we're up against. I thought it was really interesting. You may, I imagine 9 out of 10 of you saw Donald Trump flailing in a way that even by his own standards was unique last Friday after the Supreme Court, because it may have even dawned on him that despite his assertion as an imperial president, there may still be a heartbeat, at least with one branch of government. But the real story I think about, going too far down this rabbit hole, of that loss and his response to it, wasn't a policy-making concern that he had around tariffs. It was a profit-making concern.
How dare he? How dare a president want to make money for their country?
He had around tariffs. Those tariffs are about his personal portfolio.
How so?
I mean, what is the
How
one
so,
thing
Gavin?
every single-
How so? Please, elaborate. Oh, Harry, you're not going to ask for more information? You're just going to let him spew bullshit? Color me surprised. Shocked like Kaya.
Personal portfolio. I mean, what is the one thing every single foreign trip with Donald Trump has in common? He sends his envoys. Now, Wickoff eventually gets there. He's part of it. But he sends the boys, sends the business partners to meet with the UAE first.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we don't necessarily love the no new wars president, going into other countries and stuff, but that's called diplomacy. That's how we do not war. So if you want more war, then we're definitely on the same page that Trump is not good for more war. Apparently, he's not good enough for no war, which is what we were promised. But Tyler said Newsom is full of donkey crap. Indeed, and yeah, that is politics, and that's the frustration when a liberal is like, "See what you guy did." It's like I went into this whole thing being like, all right, you're making me do it. Like I was all for it. This is the only time I voted for Trump. But Joe and Kamala were not a factor in that. I was looking at Ron DeSantis before he dropped the ball. I was looking at Vivek Ramaswamy before he, kind of got a little schmarmy. But at the end of the day, there was two options. And we, the majority of the nation, voted for Trump. So what? I still don't understand why he's mad about doing business with our UAE partners instead of bombing them. Good, you shouldn't. New scam.
Sends the business partners to meet with the UAE first, to do the deal to make sure the Wickoff and the Trump family have the $2 billion in world financial liberty.
Oh, yeah, and money bad, right? So you're super broke. Or no, you're also rich. Got it.
Establish that first, then we can discuss the high-value computer chips.
No, he can't. This is where you're wrong. Unfortunately, Box, even though you are smart enough to see that this guy's full of shit, the overwhelming majority of your party either doesn't see it or doesn't care because Orange Man bad. This will, without barring some crazy scandal, he will be the nominee. He will be the nominee. Who else do they fucking have? So, no, we cannot be ignoring a presidential candidate. Yeah, right? No way. I don't know about all that. I mean, to you, how many, as big as they are, how many actual Americans, voting Americans, are watching TYT?
That we can approve in return. Your national security for their personal portfolio. Let's talk about what happened in Vietnam and the tariffs. They magically dropped 26%. But first, the government of Vietnam had to approve the $1.5
You give me the money.
billion golf course and fast track the environmental work. All of these deals have a grift in common. Not about
Yeah, we want to get them done and not just use it as a way to go through the bureaucracy and get this person paid and that person paid and the environmental costs and the environmental what do they fucking call them? You know, when they like, oh, well, we got to test the soil and we got to test the water and we got to test the water over here and we got to test the concrete and we got to test. I mean, come on. This is why nothing gets built in California. But that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. We want a bloated bureaucracy where nothing could get done, right? That's what we want.
all of these deals
Fucking
have
kill
a
me.
grift in common. Not about
Projection. Missed it. I almost missed it.
all of these deals have a grift in common. Not about free enterprise anymore. It's crony capitalism. It's state capitalism. It's about the golden shares. And if you don't share, 10% of Intel, 25% AMD, NVIDIA, MP Materials. Look across the spectrum in all of these things. The Trump tenure, Trump story is a story of corruption, of grift, the likes of which we've never experienced in modern American history. And
Just not. It's just like bad. This is the level of online discourse with fucking shitty channels. Well, you're just a grifter. Okay, and then, oh my god, he's so amazing. Clapped her. I don't even know.
we've never experienced
know.
in modern American history. And that's why we can't write op-eds anymore. I mean, you saw this on January 6th. You know, a broken man tried to break this country, tried to light democracy on fire. Democracy.
Oh, but what about the summer of love? We're just going to conveniently ignore that, right? Right?
Is for suckers. You know, Harry, you mentioned I've been on the road. I was down there literally 48 hours ago in Fulton County. They dialed up, not the version of Greg Abbott, but the original version to try to find 11,000, 12,000 seats. Now what he's doing, he's literally trying to take over. He will take over. They are convinced he's going to take over the election down there. He is not screwing around. He talked about nationalizing the election. 2 days later, he said, no, really just in 15 states. Which ones? All blue. Look what he did the day we kicked off the Prop 50 campaign. We said it was a preview of things to come, 4,000 National Guard coming across the rest of the country. The day we kicked off the campaign in Little Tokyo at the Democracy Center. That's the sacred site. For any of you who have been in LA, you
democracy, so it must be good.
may know this site as a sacred site where we were interning the Japanese. That was the depot where the buses went. And that was the day we had about 500 people in the room, 20 U.S. representatives, the House, and 2 senators, faith leaders, community leaders to kick it off, and dozens of masked men right outside the front door. And a gentleman dressed up as if he came off a movie set from the 1930s by the name of Bovino. That was the preview of things to come. We said that the next day. We've seen that play out all across the state.
And that's another aspect of, well, how well is he going to do in the larger, the larger, he's very, just kind of droning on. Like Trump does that, but he makes it interesting. Maybe not so much lately, but certainly in 2016, love it or hate it, then you definitely didn't want to miss a Trump speech. This is fucking stupid for many reasons, but mainly because he's not fucking saying anything. He's not fucking saying anything. Got you, Dick.
We said that the next day. We've seen that play out all across the state. Interesting. On election day, let's not forget this. On election day in California, this is weeks ago, Donald Trump sends out a Truth Social before anyone votes saying the election was rigged. He sent out election monitors from the Department of Justice to oversee the election. But you know what else he did? He sent out BORTAC teams. These are the Border Patrol Tactical Units, the guys with the Apache helicopters. And he sent them to Dodger Stadium so that the morning news would plaster that wall to wall. Communities already on edge, now scared to death to go to the polls He is not screwing around. That is a preview of things to come. Across the spectrum, we will lose this country unless we recognize what we're up against. He does not believe in fair and free elections. He is committed to vandalizing this election for the same reason he was committed to getting those 5 seats, because he knows he's going to get shellacked, he's going to get crushed in this midterms, and he's going to lose that gavel.
I think he's actually right, but the same thing is I just completely lost my train of thought. What did he just say? Oh yeah, just about the midterms. The fact that it's actually better for the Democrat nominee in 2028 for the Republicans. Jesus Christ, what is going on? The Republicans do well in the midterms because then there's more shit. Be like, see, look what they did. When you have 2 years of, well, you know, you guys, it's not as strong. You can't see what they did when they were in office. And so for somebody who is like Gavin Newsom, really doesn't give a shit about anything but himself, just like Trump and every other fucking politician. But his thing is going to be, you know, I want to put myself in the best position. So he's saying this just for the clapter. Just for the clapter. He doesn't want the Democrats to do better in the midterms than it needs to be for him to look good. The worse the Republicans do, the better for Gavin Newsom. He knows that. He knows that. Thus, he is bullshitting you.
He's going to get shellacked. He's going to get crushed in this midterms, and he's going to lose that gavel. So we must remain vigilant. And I think, look, Harry, back to this book.
I thought that was great.
Oh,
I loved it.
Wait. Did he pull it up, or did he show it, or just pick it up?
I thought that was great. I loved
we didn't get a full one.
I like that. Come on.
I discovered, I didn't know where, you know, I've been out front on a few issues and appreciate the original introduction, you know, marriage equality, a little before my party was pleased that I was out front on that. And I always wondered where that gene came from. And back to this memoir of discovery, I started learning about my great-grandmother's a suffragette. Someone told me, they said, the Oppenheimer book, they said, I think your grandfather's. I said, no, he's not. I never read the Oppenheimer. It was this big. I'm like, I'm dyslexic. No, thank you. And then my cousin comes to me and he goes, I hear you're writing the book. I've got these FBI files.
Ooh, all right. So does anybody have anything against checking out what Dave Smith has been saying? How many people we got? Okay, so I'm gonna put up a poll and we'll see if you want to stay here or go see what Dave Smith is saying about Iran. Thank you for the reminder, sir.
My cousin comes to me and he goes, I hear you're writing the book. I've got these FBI files and it's all about Grandpa and Oppenheimer and how they were casing his business, how he ultimately left his practice in the lab, how he was under surveillance by the FBI, all of these things. And this activism that I didn't know was shaped on my mother's side, not just
there we go, gentlemen.
From my father's prism as an activist judge on the California Court of Appeal. And so,
yes, Jason, he is just going to campaign. They all are. They all are going to campaign on, well, look how bad Trump is. They stand for nothing. And it goes all the way down, so it actually works because they will fall for anything. That's exactly it. Exactly it.
Father's prism as an activist judge on the California Court of Appeal. And so I'm so blessed by that. Back to this thing, echo, life echoes. You know, we are, you know, I am because you are, this, you know, larger notion of who we are, this sort of, this shapes, and it should shape all of us.
Okay, Box. Yeah, I tried to set up Nightbot, and you're very much right. If you want to, after the stream, if you're still around, then if you want to help me set that up, I had it set, and it just didn't like do what it was supposed to do. So maybe we could check that out. But you are very right. I've been waiting I've been putting that off. But you are right, sir. You are right, sir.
Yeah, this shapes, and it should shape all of us. You know, this sort of notion that we're all this sort of individual hero in our own life. Not the case. And Harry, I never understood that. That young man in Harry never understood that. I was reading self-help books. I was listening to Tony Robbins. I thought it was just about that mindset. It wasn't about, the stage set that is our
Got 2 votes for Dave Smith. Let's see if you guys want to turn that around and stick with our boy Newsom.
lives in those relationships.
And again, remember, guys, if you want to participate in these polls, you've got to be on the landscape stream. If you are on the vertical stream, then you can always just hit the description. The link will always be there to the full landscape stream. It's a little bit of a better setup, but whatever you like.
The stage set that is our lives in those relationships.
Let's get 2 more votes. 2 more votes.
The past and the present.
Well, on the contrast of everything you just said with Donald Trump is doing, I was saying this to the crowd before you came out, this is a reminder that there are good people out there. And I would characterize you as a good person. And I want to talk about my favorite.
Really? Really? Would you though? Because I definitely would not.
Quote from the book.
Uh-oh.
No, it's a good one.
And see, even the little things. We're going to be talking about what's in my book. I don't want that. Well, the vertical, because there's always more people there because it's automatically in the shorts feed. And so people can just scroll by. Whereas on the landscape, you've actually got to click on it. So that's just how people work.
And you can fill in the gaps
I know who the real ones are.
if I miss anything. But in the early 2000s, you were invited to the State of the Union. I think you know where I'm going with this. You were invited to the State of the Union. And it was George Bush. And it was
22 years ago tonight.
Oh, wow, that's right. It was George Bush. And
I thought we were going to get some clapter there.
the speech you described as like, kind of a normal speech you'd expect from a Republican president. But he said something that in particular caught your eye. And he was talking
I
about.
feel like I miss old George. The good old days. Oh.
Yeah, that's what you're going to be saying in 29. You're like, oh, I miss Trump. Yeah, guys, why are we not voting on the poll? Why are we not voting on the poll? That's why I put the poll up.
Sorry, continue, Harry.
No. He talked about protecting marriage.
Yeah.
I believe it was Defense for Marriage Act.
Yeah.
Defense of Marriage Act. And,
Call for a constitutional amendment then.
Exactly. And you heard people next to you.
Yeah, that's a good one, Mods. Don't time anyone out unless I ask it, you please. But that's a good one.
Admonishing gay couples. Yeah. And as soon as you walk.
Dave Smith is the libertarian guy who is, I'll just pull the picture. You know Dave Smith. That guy, Dave Smith. So he's a libertarian guy, someone I follow pretty closely, but he's very libertarian, and he is unquestionably going to be against what's going on in Iran, but I don't necessarily have a full understanding. I've heard a lot of right-wing people, haven't heard a lot of libertarians, and so the votes have it. Let's see what Dave Smith is saying. All right, so I need a new tab here. Get rid of that. Can you still do that, right? Okay, and Dave Smith. All right, it's a disaster already. Let's see. What do we got going on?
The charts. He's number 1. Excellent, dude. Like it was excellent. Like I would stamp my name. But I just wanted to talk to Jack the whole time. I'm like, Jack, you got to admit, dude, that we have to stop supporting the president now because Jack Posabiec,
what the fuck is? Oh, it's because it live.
Just put out this mini documentary like a few months ago on the war in Iraq. That was excellent, dude. Like it was excellent. Like I would stamp my name on that documentary and go, yes, dude. He hit all of it: the clean break and the Israel lobby and the 7 countries in 5 years, and he went through the whole thing. And then, I mentioned to him
Yeah, so that is exactly what we just heard from Gavin Newsom, that he said he prefers Bush over Trump. Sounds like something the Uniparty Against America would say.
Bingo.
Yep. But, again, orange man bad. So, that's about it. Davis Tyson? Who's Tyson? Tyson?
5 years, and he went through the whole thing.
I don't think he is a fence sitter. I think he is very, very open about how he is anti-war. I don't think that's fence sitting. I think that's just having a different opinion. Now, I think there is an aspect of the libertarian mindset in general where it's like, well, both sides are bad, so anything that happens is bad, and that's it. And it seems unfinished. Like we need more than that to just be like, we know the uniparty is bad. We get that. We get that the uniparty is bad, but we still have to operate within it. And so just being like, nope, it's all bad is kind of a cop-out for me. So, I mean, I guess in that way you could say that he's fence-sitting, but I don't really see it that way. But
And then, I mentioned to him today, remember, because it's so
how's the sound of the video?
funny, because we'll get into it. There's a bunch, obviously, more developments and fallout from the war. But it was Dick Cheney. He had in the documentary, Dick Cheney's now infamous Meet the Press appearance, where they ask him at the beginning of the war, how long will the war in Iraq last? And he goes, it'll be weeks, not months. That was his
20 years later.
quote. It won't take months. Come on, months? That's ridiculous. Meanwhile, there was a bloody civil war for 8 years and a military occupation for nearly 20. And, so you get into these things. It's easy to say, oh, this will be quick. And like, maybe this one will be. I mean, maybe Donald Trump will just stop. But man.
Well, and that's the thing. Ever since Venezuela, that's where I'm like, okay, well, hold on a minute, Dave. Because there is, whether you like them or disagree with them, there are logical reasons why you would support X, Y, and Z. You would support the striking of Iran, the Maduro thing. There are reasons. It just seems like every argument about war that Dave makes is, well, look how bad it went before, which is a strong argument. Past behavior is a good indicator of future behavior. And I mean, just pattern seeking in general. But also, we've got to take into account all the different factors. Yes, war is bad, but it doesn't seem like there is much of there's much grace for like, okay, well, we can't just sit and do nothing. And maybe that is what he wants us to do. But again, a lot of people have legitimate reasons why they say, no, I think that's a bad idea. It's just like, no, I'm right about everything. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Oh my goodness. Remember that. Never forget. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, that makes you, sir, the new sponsor of the stream again. My goodness, Morty's loving it. Bam, bam, bam. Thank you so very, very much. 5 weeks to be out of Iran. So the question is, based on what? When we said 2 weeks to slow the spread or to flatten the curve or whatever it is, when we said 5 weeks to be out of, or it's not going to take a month, it's going, what was that based on, and why was that wrong? I mean, obviously it was wrong because it didn't come true, but why was that something that rational adults were able to be like, okay, this makes sense. It shouldn't take that long, right? Why did that happen? And again, this is a failure on my part of not paying close enough attention to the politics at the time. But hey, I'm doing what I can. Oh, Box is going hard. The California High-Speed Rail 2025. And it, of course, is March 2026. Timelines, the best thing that governments have. Yep, they got it. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Remember, guys, it doesn't need to be big. Super chats, 99 cents counts. Thank you so very, very much, Box.
Will be. I mean, maybe Donald Trump will just stop. But man,
maybe.
Seems unlikely. I wanted to, I'm curious, just Rob, like just what you're thinking about, 24 hours since our last podcast on this. But one of the things that I'm thinking about that I think I maybe didn't do as good a job as I should have in the last episode of really making this point. But I think the fact that, because now, by the way, this has been verified by a bunch more reporting, and this is real, that after the Ayatollah was killed, Donald Trump, through his Italian negotiators, their conduit there, they offered a ceasefire. Like Donald Trump tried to do the 12-day war thing and take another off ramp. But the Iranian.
I'm retarded. I'm like, why am I not counting? I forgot about Equality's Rumble rant.
Donald Trump tried to do the 12-day war thing and take another off ramp. But the Iranians said no. And they've been responding for 36 hours since then. And the thing that's so, like, I think that's a really important dynamic that has shifted. I tried to make this point on yesterday's show, but I think it bears repeating, or maybe trying to make it in a better way, that, you know, when I said Donald Trump had changed the incentives for the Iranians, it's like, well, look, for all of this time, and really, obviously, this was demonstrated in the 12-day war, Iran has not wanted it. They don't want to get destroyed, obviously, right? But now they've created a...
So, but then what if they don't want to be destroyed, were they not sending out missiles to places all around them, specifically the UAE with American bases? Was that made up? 2 weeks is instantly too long for me. Maduro was 2 hours. Yep. And that's why I'm like, okay, well, maybe if it can be done like this, then it's not that big of a deal. It's the drawn out wars that are a big deal to me. All of a sudden, they never take into consideration that this is regime change is fiercely wanted by the Iranian people who are being executed en masse by the Islamic terrorist regime. Absolutely true, but also kind of don't care. Unless it becomes an issue of the nukes, then, like, sorry, do your own shit. Get Israel to fucking do it. They got such an amazing military, right? Why does it have to always be us? That's the question that I need answers. And Rob Norm was talking about it. I reposted what he said. And essentially, he was basically, parroting not parroting my position. I will parrot his position. That, he's not some hippie pacifist. Oh, we can never use anything unless they're attacking us directly. There's military use for military action. But maybe we don't need it. All that shit costs money. We just found billions upon billions upon billions of dollars in fraud at home. Yeah, right? So I'm not mad at the Iranian people for being happy. I'm certainly not mad at them for being under authoritative regime. I'm glad that they are happy, just like I was when the Venezuelan people were happy. But why is that our responsibility? That's what I don't get. Well, so whether anyone cares or not, it is a factor that everyone ignores and pretends it is a factor that doesn't exist. Okay. I mean, I can't speak for other people. I think that it is a secondary thing for a lot of people. But yeah, I think you're right there. So they're fake a pretense. 0% consent manufactured. I don't know if I like that more than them lying to me or not. Tough. It's tough. Don't think seems like Dave's being relatively charitable. That's not what I'm seeing. Let's see.
Situation where the Iranians go, dude, we can't.
Because you just said it doesn't seem likely that Trump's going to do the right thing.
Do that now. Okay, it's one thing if you say, hey, we're going to bomb Fordo or we're going to take out your nuclear sites and then go, hey, you pretend to respond. Now let's make a deal. They go, okay, let's make a deal. But we're going to come in and murder your Ayatollah and his family. Now let's call a ceasefire. From the Iranian perspective now, they're like,
well, but which Iranians? The Iranians that are cheering in the streets or the Iranians who were in power?
No, then we know you're just going to keep fucking with us forever until you overthrow us. So now their self-preservation calculation is that we got to give you a black eye. We got to make sure, some people die. Now, already since then, since this war launched, there's, I think, is it 4 Americans their Central Command is admitting have died? I think a dozen or so other have been injured. I think 3 people died in Austin, Texas, in a blowback terrorist attack.
Oh, is
just the other day.
Is that a terrorist attack?
Well, he look, I guess we don't have all the details yet, but he had an Iranian flag and I'm with Allah shirt on when he started shooting people up. So
I think we could take some guesses there.
He's like, maybe it was motivated by that. Seemed like a pretty likely guess. Like I said yesterday, it's the worst way to be vindicated, but Iran really seems to not be playing around this time. All right, guys, let's take a moment and think.
Let's not.
Of saying, hey,
For 10% off, though.
well, still, yeah, I mean, I was hoping that there would be the easy off ramp of Donald Trump saying, hey, it's a new regime, even if it's not a new regime. In terms of, taking unnecessary risks, apparently Donald Trump's leading picks for who might take over for Khamenei, they accidentally killed as well in the strike. So he doesn't even currently know who he might want to team up with if they were to forge a new government.
That seems like a strong point as to why maybe there should have been a little bit more planning in this. But again, I'm just listening. I'm not claiming to be an authority on any of this.
I think the thing that's really standing out to me, and it resonates from your comments on the last episode, is just that Donald Trump is now the old Republican Party. It's all the people that we voted against and had no interest in as the, establishment politicians are the people that are taking a victory lap on the news station speaking for Trump. And you're like, This is what Trump was here to do, was to thwart you guys, because we all hated you guys and we hated this stuff. And now we're back. You guys are in full control. I was listening to the Ted Cruz interview and he's talking about briefing Donald Trump the day beforehand. And the way he's selling it is almost like Ted Cruz went in there, pulled up his pants and showed him who's boss and said, here's what we got to do. And Trump went, yes. And you know what happened in the elections? We all voted against Ted Cruz because that's not what we wanted.
Okay, but that's like, it just seems like working backwards. It just seems like, okay, war bad. So how do we do that? Like, I don't get that. Just settlement. Never going WMD in Iraq. I did find insurgents though. They are all definitely trying to kill us, and I mean that is that's another aspect of where is the Gavin Newsom was just talking about how horrible it was that Trump is sending people, the guys, the boys, the business makers, the deal makers. Like that is what we voted for. And so, the fact of the matter is that clearly we have launched a strike. But unless you are willing to tell me where the diplomatic relations went wrong, then I don't feel like you're in a position to be like, oh, no, this was bad. Unless you're going to say all military action is bad, give me the reasoning.
And it's incredible that we thought we were thwarting the Republican Party, or voters did. They thought they were getting a new Republican Party that was actually America first. And now, we've got a better salesman for their bullshit.
Yeah. Although, I don't know. I don't know how effective of a salesman he's really going to turn out to be.
This is him being charitable, Gomsec?
One of the things that's so interesting, right, is that even from, and I kind of pounced on that guy, Ben Ferguson, on the show for this, but even from the Republican perspective, when they're, trying to somehow justify this war, it's like,
yeah, I've been saying ever since he flipped on Epstein, there's something changed. I'm not claiming to know what. Something changed.
It feels like a what's the word I'm looking for? A hodgepodge? What is that? Like where you just like randomly take things? Like that's kind of the justification for this war is just like, I don't know what they're Muslim. And they also nuclear weapons. And they're like, but you destroyed the nuclear weapons. You're like, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Our Marines. Remember the Beirut bombing? You remember that 60 years ago? It's just they're like whatever they can grab. But he goes at one point like.
So, but what about the? Okay, all right. Let's go back to ChatGPT. So, okay, so let's talk Iran. Before the U.S. struck Iran most recently, did Iran attack surrounding countries, including a U.S. military base? That's what I was under the impression. I've seen pictures of the map, and arrows going this way, arrows going that way, and arrows going that way. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's what I'm understanding so far. Here's what credible reporting shows about Iran's actions before the most recent U.S. strikes and whether Iran attacked surrounding countries or a U.S. military base. Yes, Iran did launch attacks on U.S. military installations in 2025, specifically June 2025. Okay. On the same time in 2025. So that's all stuff that should be answered or responded to by the 12-day war. So Iran has also launched missile and drone strikes at or over several Gulf states that host U.S. or allied forces, especially during periods of direct confrontation. Like Kuwait, Iranian drones struck U.S. facilities in March. So like What I don't understand what Dave is getting at. As if there can't be multiple reasons why we have an enemy. They were building nukes and they attacked us. And also, there's other things too. How many reasons should we only use the military if there's only one reason to use the military? Like what? I don't understand the argument. I don't really understand what the issue is with. Well, there's a bunch of reasons why we should do this. That's why it's bad that we did it.
What?
Huh? Almost. So that's a great take, TIJ. There you go. It's always Trump bad. We're war bad. Whatever bad. Now let me cherry pick the evidence and facts that support my conclusion, regardless of other factors that don't support it.
Bingo.
And I really, really, really do appreciate what Dave has to say and the work that the position or the perspective that he offers. I'm just starting to see where it has limitations. Buck said Iran is in fact bad, but it's not our problem.
Bingo.
That's where I thought we were at. That's where I thought we were at. You know, they were talking about, well, you destroyed the nukes. Okay, okay, that seems like a reasonable thing. Why we should not continue warfare if we've already destroyed their nuclear program. But did we actually destroy their nuclear program? And if not, why the fuck did we bomb in the first place in 2025? It seems to give at least some legs to the frustration that these libertarians have, even if they're not right. We did to soothe the tiny hats, self-induced paranoia. I don't think it will help that. Well, no. Running nukes and rockets is our problem, though. But so fair. But did we not destroy their nuclear capabilities in the 12-day war? I thought that's what that was all about. Dave was the one saying that, oh, well, this isn't, that doesn't mean it's over. And everybody's like, oh, you're such a cock, blah, 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 blah. Was the 12-day war not specifically to attack the nuclear capabilities so that now they don't have them? I'm not saying they can never rebuild. But if it took them X long to get to 35%, then they're probably not at 60 right now. Again, I'm not trying to play sides. I'm just trying to understand what the fuck is actually happening. And what are the reasons? And are those reasons good reasons or not?
Like after Pierce asked him a question, he goes, well, I mean, you got to admit, because I said Donald Trump just destroyed his presidency. And then he goes, well, you got to admit, if this goes bad, Dave's right. Dave's right. And he goes, yeah, if this goes bad. And it's like, oh, okay. So he goes, if it goes bad, the Democrats are going to win the midterms. And you're like, okay, so, but if you're admitting that if this goes bad, which.
It's because maybe certainty is not really a thing that we get in politics, Dave.
Seems like a good chance. Like, it seems like it's already gone pretty bad, Rob. But so if this goes bad, then the Democrats win the midterms and the Democrats win the presidency in 2028.
Okay. And so what is the alternative? How do you suggest what should we have done instead?
And so if you just think about like the average Republican, what they've been saying about the Democrats, you're like, so you're willing to risk our liberty to maybe bring liberty to the Iranian people? And
no, whoa. Didn't we just talk about us being attacked and also the nukes? I personally have not. I explicitly stated that, I mean, as happy as I am for these people, like Bach said, where is it? Not my fucking problem. Not my fucking problem if the nuclear situation is what they said. Yeah, right. North Carolina has nukes. North Carolina has nukes. North Korea has nukes. Why are we not bombing them? Why don't we bomb them? You make the good point, sir. Now, obviously, they already have the functional nukes versus, making them. Oh, look at that! Look at that freeze frame. That's a good one. Dave Smith.
To maybe bring liberty to the Iranian people.
Again, as opposed to what? And no, not for the Iranian people, for the American people to stay alive. But, okay, what is the alternative then?
And that is America first. How?
Because it is making sure Americans don't get nuked. I know I'm really stupid with this stuff, Dave. But I mean, unless I am standing on the top of the mountain of Dunning-Kruger, then you're not making any fucking sense. Am I on something here? Are we, or am I just missing a whole piece of this?
People. And that is America first. How? Like, it's just, I almost like, I understand why Ben had to just interrupt me the whole time. Because what are you going to do? Fucking have that argument? What are you going to make the debate that
you could say, no, it isn't about the Iranian people. It is about the American people and their ability to live. Now we can get into a debate about whether or not that actually does what it wants to do and does actually save Americans. But to act like there's, I don't see how. Come on, bro. Come on. You're better than this.
Trying to liberate the Iranian people, which may, to your own admission, may not work at all. Is this, you know, the other point?
Again, going back to the, liberating the Iranian people. No, getting rid of the nukes.
On yesterday's show that I don't think I did. I don't remember. Maybe I did. I don't think I made
this.
This
is
point,
the clarification? This is clearer
when,
than it was?
When Donald Trump, so I knew this about, and I had made this point previously about the first Iraq war under George H.W. Bush, the Persian Gulf War in 91.
Which is exactly the same as what's going on right now.
But I had never made it about Panama. You know, after I never really knew that much about Panama. I probably knew, like, you know, I don't know, like the broad strokes of the thing. Like, I knew Noriega was the CIA's guy until he wasn't. And I knew he was, like, in bed with the drug cartels. I knew Nas liked to rap about him a lot. And I knew that we went in there and we took him out. But after Venezuela, everybody was like, all the hawks were bringing up Panama as the example. Look, this is another success. So I kind of like started reading a little bit more about it. And one of the really interesting things was that Panama was just like with the first, what the hawks were saying at the time was what Ben Shapiro is saying now about the, Venezuela, that it cured Iraq war syndrome. Okay, they were all saying this cured Vietnam syndrome. That's what they were saying. That, like, you know, ever since Vietnam, we have this real problem where Americans don't want to get into stupid, bloody wars. But look, we just showed them that it could be a stupid, not that bloody war.
Okay. Is that not better than a stupid war that's more bloody? I'm not understanding. You keep presenting, well, that was bad, but this could be worse. And because I might be right that things could go bad, I genuinely am lost. I'm genuinely lost. We're gonna keep it rolling because I want to be able to steel man what's going on here, but I genuinely do not understand. Shout out to Bugs again. Thank you. So very, very much, sir. Trump, so great. He got rid of the nukes. What? Stupid. Right over my head. Trump, so great. He got rid of the nukes twice. There we go. Jesus Christ. Sometimes, you know, I need more alcohol. Let's keep it going. Thank you, sir.
But look, we just showed them that it could be a stupid, not that bloody war. So now, you know, whatever we want. And anyway.
So whatever. No, not whatever. If the options are stupid, bloody war and not so stupid, not so bloody war, I'll take option B, please.
There's been all types of reporting about, and you could also see that the Hawks have all been bragging about this, but there's been a lot of reporting that this is Donald Trump's, mindset. And I had this confirmed from people who are very close to him, that essentially he looks at the success of Venezuela, the success, whatever that means. Like, what did you actually do there?
A surgical military strike without losing any U.S. lives or equipment. No?
But he looks at the success of Venezuela and goes, and that's a big part of his mentality with this. Like, no, I'm really smart. This is what all the Hawks are saying. Yeah, that was with dumb leadership. This is with smart leadership.
I'm very curious what you're thinking about what I'm saying, Lone Wolf. Because you expected me to come in and be like, oh, Dave's so right. I don't know if you did that. I'm just being. But I'm interested to see what you think about what I'm saying here.
So you end up realizing that there's like a hidden cost, even when these military adventures are somewhat, what they would call successful, what we might call not catastrophic in their results. But there's a hidden cost to that too. And the cost is that.
Okay, so what is the thing where there's no cost, Dave? Show me how we deal with these issues with no cost. This brings us all the way back to the idea of if you are going to say that this is bad, if you don't have an alternative, then you're just having a tantrum. No, I don't like that. I don't like it. Nobody really cares.
That breeds all this hubris. And now they start going, oh yeah, we can do this. And this is literally, I remember.
But we can do this. We just did do this. I agree that we don't want stupid, bloody wars. This, nor Venezuela, was a stupid, bloody war. And I get your point that it may not be over yet, but what is the alternative? I'm going to give him another minute to fucking make a point here, but we're coming up on the 2.5 hour mark, and I do want to show the other side of this in what Rob Noor said.
Remember living through this. This is what happened after the first war in Iraq, is that everybody said, hey, this was so successful and easy. We didn't even lose any troops. We can do stuff. And then we were bogged down in that country for the next 30 years.
So is it possible that we could go and address similar types of issues and not stay 20 years? Or is it just because we stayed in the Middle East too long for 20 years in human history, we can never do any military action again? Come on, man. Lone Wolf said Dave hasn't really presented facts for all his claims and presumptions. I'm with you on this. Yes. Can't steel man his position. He's jumping all over the place. We'll give him a little bit more time, but Box, I have a feeling that you're going to appreciate what Rob says. Yeah, we'll give him a minute and see if he lands the plane or offers some type of information. This is really hurtful to me. Because it's one of those things that you don't see it until you see it, and then when you see it, you're like, ah, fuck, it was there the whole time. It was there the whole fucking time. And now I can't unsee it. You know, it'd be exactly like, I'm specifically using this this analogy because I expect that most of you won't know it, and I want you to get on TikTok because it's amazing. But one of the not so amazing parts is obviously if there's sponsor content or an advertisement that has to be labeled. And you know, I'm a streamer. We've been here for over 2 hours and whatever. And so especially when like I'm doing stuff around the house, if I'm cooking, if I'm doing this or whatever, you know, a longer I'll put it on auto scroll, which is another thing you can't do on shorts. You can speed it up, which you can't do on shorts. So if a longer like story time comes up versus like a 1-minute video, that's convenient because I can just put it down and listen to the video while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. So the algorithm learned that, oh, okay, I like longer videos. And so then I started getting these longer videos of like just general story time, like, oh, this crazy thing happened to me. You know, nothing super deep, but you know, interesting enough. And I kept seeing a pattern. We're talking about full 10-minute stories. And there was like four or five before I was like, hold on a minute here. At every single story, at some point, something would come up about money. And they would say the line, and I had just made some extra money, or I just made some extra cash on the Pay Me app. Or no. Sorry, take this. I just made some extra money suing this company on the Pay Me app, so I, you know, paid for whatever he's talking about. And after I kept hearing, I'm like, what is that? And it's fucking shady because they're good stories, but I'm being advertised to when when it's not it's not disclosed, and I have an issue with that. I like the stories. I wouldn't have had an issue if you just put sponsored on it. But you're trying to do something that you're not. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too. Shout out to Mighty Starlock. Welcome. So that's funny. Iraq caused us to be somewhere for a long time. Therefore, all conflicts will be the same. That's bad logic. Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. Ooh, Dave is smart. This smells like fear. That's a good one. Dilly fucking dilly. Compromised by Barry Weiss? What makes you say that? All right, we'll give him 2 more minutes, and then I want to show you what Rob said.
Stuff. And then we were bogged down in that country for the next 30 years. You know? And so it just, you know, Donald Trump can sit here and say it's going to be weeks, not months, but we've heard that before. And I think if you're really paying attention to the fucking, you know, the signal, not the noise here, the big news as of today, Rob, is that both Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, the 2 most important people who you could hear from on this issue, the commander-in-chief and the secretary of war, both said they're not ruling out boots on the ground.
Well, yeah, and that's bad.
Yeah, I don't want boots on the ground. But the issue seems to be that you assume that that's already. They're just saying they're not ruling it out, and I understand the government is the government, but you can't have an issue before there's an issue. You have to have an issue with the issue. So I mean, I think that kind of gives us an understanding of where Davy Boy stands. But shout out to Rob Noor here. Gonna share. I already did share this on my community tab, but a link in the chat. I don't know if we'll stay for the entire thing, but let's see. And guys, we are coming up on the 2.5 hour mark. So if we finish it, really, that is up to you guys. Remember, every single donation comes with a treat. We are $6 away from hitting the goal on the super chat number, not the total, but 6 more supers, and we got it. We got more than an extra treat, and I got to do push-ups.
The amount of shit, just like I said with Ukraine, the amount of shit that you're going to see, especially in these initial days, that's just going to be abject propaganda, that within like hours, people are going to be like, you're going to see fucking pictures of Sam Hyde in airplanes calling him the ghost of Tehran. Supposedly Khomeini's dead.
So this was, I think, I hate that they fucking did that. Okay, yesterday.
It's being reported.
This was posted yesterday, so the live stream was probably the day before.
By a lot. I can't believe it right now. I would say the chance of that's pretty high. Based on, look, let's start with this. So now that the joking's done, let's start with this. What do I think about this as someone who's been pretty much anti-war for a long time? I think it sucks. I think it fucking sucks. I didn't like the initial strike on Iran last year. I didn't particularly like what happened in Venezuela there with Maduro, and I don't like this. Now, I have to check.
Agreed, Rob. Agreed.
Myself and be honest for a second. I'm not someone who believes that there's never a place for U.S. military action, including severe consequences, like fucking super severe. My preference would be that the United States uses diplomacy to a ridiculous end. And
remember that Gavin Newsom was just like, oh, he's sending all his people. He sends the boys in. Yeah, that's diplomacy. That's how you prevent war, you fucking retard.
Incredible restraint. But if they do have to use military force, that it be overwhelming. Targeted specifically at the people that deserve to be targeted, and hopefully not civilians, but overwhelming. That's my feelings on this. I am 41, and one criticism you could make of me is I am so fucking down on our sort of military-industrial complex, intel agencies, etc.
Same, which is why I, was so open to Dave.
All words that'll peg me as like an anti-Iraq war boomer.
Peg me.
True. I'm fucking so over it.
Awesome.
I do not believe that the people that are running the show give a shit about the people of Iran, or gave a shit about the people of Venezuela, or give a shit about the people of Syria, or the people of Afghanistan, or the people of Libya, or the people of Ukraine.
Or the people of America.
They do not give a fuck. Lindsey Graham doesn't give a shit about those people. The people running the CIA do not give a shit about those people on the ground. I think there is an argument to be made for United States interventionism, but I want the argument would have to come from a place of the people that are responsible for the interventions are competent and benevolent. My idea of what government should be, if we are going to have a government, which is inevitable in my opinion, I may disagree, but they should look out for the citizens of their own countries first and foremost. However, should not intentionally cause harm to other countries. So I don't want like U.S. empire just like, fuck it.
Yeah, we take some of that. Why not?
Country has something, look at that. They got fucking bauxite mines there. Fuck it, we're taking them. That's not really what I'm about. But if another country's going to fuck with us and it's detrimental, could I
Did they though?
See it open to being like, I'm not some pacifist hippie. Sure, I can see the United States attacking. Okay. But I'm not very persuaded by but the people on the ground of these countries welcome. They're so happy that the United States came in. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry. I mean,
and I think of the people who are, let's say, not hating on the fact that this all went down, most people are probably like, okay, I mean, like, yeah, the fact that the Iranian people are happy is good, but that if that was the only thing, then I would not want to go bomb them. And here again, just like I said, Rob is saying, well, I don't really care about that. And I don't, again, if you pin him down, I don't think he would say, no, I don't give a shit about the Iranians. He's just saying, this isn't what I care most about. Shout out to Marilyn. Got herself. Welcome to the party. We were talking about Gavin Newsom, scumbag, and now we are talking about Iran.
Welcome. They're so happy that the United States came in. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry. I mean, I do to an extent, but not much, not comparatively. I mean, I'm sure people on the ground in dozens of countries would be happy if the United States went in and opposed their leaders. That doesn't mean that's what I want to happen. So that's my gut feeling going into something like this. Now, if I could push back on my own ideology, not every war is the same, though. Not everything's Iraq. It's not. I'm in a unique, I don't want to say unique, that's not the right word. Here is my position where I'm at. I'm not someone that says the United States can do whatever the fuck they want. U.S. empire, go, baby, go. If we think that we can kick the shit out of a country, fine, fuck it. And what's the reason? Because we feel like it. We'll invade your shit. We don't care. That's not what I want.
Mods, if you want to copy and paste that, that's a good one to have on hand.
If you have that mentality, then today you're like, I don't give a shit. Fuck it. Yeah, we took out Khomeini. Great. We shouldn't even install leader. The United States should just be like, bam, you're on 51st state. Fuck you. It's a colony now, motherfucker. I suppose you could have that mentality. I don't think many.
I was going to say, there's definitely some, though. He's saying, I don't think many people do, but some people are like, oh, fuck it. Yeah, make it ours.
Fuck you. It's a colony now, motherfucker. I suppose you could have that mentality. I don't think many people do, but you could be extreme on that side. Or you could be extreme on the other side, which is like, no, never a case for where the United States could invade or bomb another country and take out their lead. Ever. Even if they attack us. I'm certainly not that. Somewhere in between. There's going to be a threshold.
Yeah, I'll let you get away with icky on that one. Well, let's say good point. Just comparing and contrasting with the TDS sufferers, left-leaning Marxist, far left dummy craps of today with Dumbo craps of the past. They're insane today. Yeah, they were never great. They're just way worse.
They attack us. I'm certainly not that. Somewhere in between. There's going to be a threshold. And the problem is, if you're not completely extreme on one side or the other, well, then you're going to have a real difficult time of articulating exactly where is the threshold that says this is when I think this action can be acceptable or that I'm going to root for it. But we all agree with that. Most of you would agree with that, right? There is a situation where you can see it be like, yeah, sure, I would be okay with the United States taking out a world leader. And there are situations where you'd be like, no. I would say that 99% of us are in that boat. And so it's the next part that makes this really hard. I don't trust anything. Even right down to the specific details, I don't trust. I've been hearing for a week now. Did you know Iran killed like 60,000 protesters? Did they? Is that true?
I heard 12,000.
Why would I believe that? If the United States and Western allies...
Or maybe that was just one instance, but I mean, good point. You know, war is, the fog of war is a real thing. Bach said, I don't like, the R, having the R or D. You should have to know the people's names. I agree with that. I think that's a good, it makes it too easy for people who are low information voters to be like, oh, I'm on the good team. Just do the D. Just do the red. The red, you know what I mean? The D or the R. I almost said I was always tell the truth. You might call them labels. Huh?
Is that true? Why would I believe that? If the United States and Western allies wanted to attack Iran, isn't that the exact type of shit that they would tell us? Remember incubator babies with the first Iraq conflict? I don't know. Conversely, the amount of shit, just like I said with Ukraine, the amount of shit that you're going to see, especially in these initial days, that's just going to be abject propaganda. And within like hours, people are going to be like, you're going to see fucking pictures of Sam Hyde in airplanes calling him the ghost of Tehran, fucking shooting down fucking missiles and shit. That's what you're going to see. People are going to be putting that out there like it's fucking real. So, for example, the big story I saw today that anti-war people were putting out was like, oh, the U.S. bombed this like girls' school and killed like 50 girls. And then I was seeing people saying, no, what happened was a missile of Iran's went haywire and hit it. What's true? I don't know. Now, I'll guarantee within 48 hours, we'll say within a week, I'll be debating someone that's going to bring that story up. Oh, Trump bombed this girls' school and killed 50 girls. Is it true? I have no clue. Trump claimed Iran was close to a nuclear weapon, and that's demonstrably false. Prove it.
Wait, what did you say?
Trump claimed Iran was close to a nuclear.
Trump claimed that Iran was close to a nuclear weapon. That is demonstrably false. Can we start there? Is that demonstrably false?
Nuclear weapon, and that's demonstrably false. Prove it. Prove that that's false. I'm happy to see the proof. Excellent. That's a great place to start. So here's things that's been alleged of Iran. They tried to assassinate Trump. They were behind some of the assassination attempts. That's been claimed. They're close to getting a nuclear weapon. That's been claimed. That's exactly my point. I can't. That's exactly my point. I can't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're trying to establish a claim, and you're saying it's false. Just saying, well, you can't prove it's true doesn't mean it's false. That's not how logic works. XBTWXTX. What are you, fucking on AIM in 2005?
Prove that it's true or not. You said it's demonstrably false. Okay, you're making the claim. Trump makes the claim they're real close to a nuclear weapon. I don't know that. I don't see the proof of that. You make the claim that's demonstrably false. Okay, prove it. Demonstrate that it's false. I don't have proof either way. That's my point. And I'm not even being some asshole. It's like, how can we ever really know anything? Maybe we're all in the Matrix, like that lady I was talking to the other night.
I mean, you don't know if you're a brain and a vet, dude.
What I'm doing, I'm saying, like, I just don't fucking know. Did Iran, were they behind trying to assassinate Trump? Maybe, maybe not. So let's take those two claims. right? Let's just ask this hypothetically. If Iran was like a year away or months away from getting a nuclear weapon, would you be okay with this? I don't know. What do you all think? It's a difficult question. If you could see in a crystal...
So in general, I would need to know what that, so specifically...
I don't know. What do you all think?
Hypothetically, if Iran was a year, so let's say months. If Iran was months away from a nuclear weapon, I do think that would be of interest. I don't think that that automatically triggers, yep, we got to bomb them. Where I think a lot of other people would be, say that's the first step. And I'm with Rob saying that should be the last step. Looking yep, pretty much.
Months away from getting a nuclear weapon, would you be okay?
I was mainly concerned about, because I have expunged arrests and my medications. I wasn't sure how that would affect things, but we'll see. I'm just gonna wait till I'm out of this fucking state. Once he's gone, I'm changes are gonna be made. Changes are gonna be made. Well, said the International Atomic Energy Agency is the organization that discovered and verified that Iran has enriched uranium to levels far above what is necessary for energy production. And so, again, what does that mean? Does that mean, okay, they have that, therefore we must bomb? Or does that mean, okay, that is of interest of us and we need to figure out how to understand what the real levels are, or make sure they get the levels back down, or any of those things? That's where, because remember, he was saying it's a spectrum. And so I'm trying to, as someone who is not super well read on the details of what's going on in Iran and the surrounding areas, I'm trying to get a beat on what actually do we know, so that I can base my opinion off of something that we know and not just what I want to happen or what I think could be or any of those things. Being agnostic is a good thing.
But that's, I don't know. What do you all think? It's a difficult question. If you could see in a crystal ball and know the truth, like, yep, they're building a nuke, they're like a year out, would you have been okay in that world? I don't know. I think probably I would say, fuck.
Marxist! You fucking Marxist!
Probably begrudgingly, yeah, okay. What if they literally were putting assassination teams out to take out Trump? If that was true, if you could see in a crystal ball and that was true, would you support bombing to take out the regime? If they're trying to kill our president, I probably would. What if it's that they're just generally doing state-sponsored terrorism? They have sleeper cells in the United States and around the West.
Well, if they're
Western world to carry out like fucked up attacks, like driving vehicles into parades and shit like that.
It would depend on how much we expect that to be addressed by bombing. If we have people here in America doing X, Y, and Z, then is bombing Iran going to get those people in America to stop doing what they're doing? Or are we just spending money and killing people and also have more terrorists? Well, so the only reason I know that is Dumbo Craps were saying they're just trying to make energy. You don't want them to have any energy. I wasn't answering this dude's rant. He's going 100 miles an hour. Yeah, Ramba. He lets it rip. Like I said, Iran is suited for solar energy. They want nuclear energy. We can make new nuclear energy in America. With so much litigation, it can't be done. But Iran can do it safely. And so that's the other side of it. Well said. That's the other side of it. How do we determine when that is an issue? And when we determine that it is an issue, what do we do about that issue?
I don't know. That's more difficult. Maybe. I guess it would depend on the particulars. How about if they did kill 60,000 protesters? Would that be reason enough? I don't know.
Nope.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Not for me. Nope.
Was it reason enough? How about this? Let's get down to even more minimal. Would it be worth it to go in just because they're brutally oppressive? Even if they didn't kill 60,000 people, they're brutally oppressive to their country. Would that be reason enough to go in?
Nope. I mean, to a certain extent, it would have to be. It would have to be such a grave, like such an egregious human rights violation that I don't even know what that would look like.
I don't think so. The point I'm trying to make is whether or not I find this conflict acceptable would be behooved on what the actual facts are. And I'm not going to know what the facts are. If I could see that they were still...
Dave Smith knows. Dave Smith knows this is all bad.
Really trying to get a nuclear weapon and we're advancing towards those capabilities, then I'd probably say, fuck. If we tried to negotiate with them, we're like, look, stop that, stop it. And they kept doing, I'd probably say, okay. then I'm fine with strikes that are specifically targeted to try to take out the leadership of Iran. If I could see that they were actually behind attempted assassinations of Trump or other U.S. political figures,
That I'd be like, fuck him up. Fuck him up. That's my president.
even figures I don't like Biden or Hillary, then yeah, probably I would say, yep, I'm okay taking out their leadership. But
Now that raises an interesting question. If Biden had an assassination attempt and was assassinated, and we knew that it was this person, that person, that country, whatever, I, as somebody who hates Joe Biden, would still, because of the patriotism that I feel for this country and the office of President of the United States, I would still have the same energy for whoever did it, whether it was a president I liked or I didn't like. Whereas I think a lot of the the people that come in early on the vertical stream are like, oh, you're just MAGA. I know everything about you already. Which ironically, they're all the same, so we know all about them. They don't understand that there's nuance.
then yeah, probably I would say, yep, I'm okay taking out their leadership. But my gut feeling is I don't like this.
Actually, I don't even have to guess. They literally are calling for Trump's death all the time.
Trump campaigned on being someone that was like, peace. I'm going to solve wars, not create them. And one of the things that was good about Trump's first term that I liked was he didn't have any new wars. And now that's clearly not the case. And you might say, yeah, but he had to. He tried his best. He tried the
Did he? Maybe. Did he?
peaceful solution, and it wasn't working. That might be true. Absolutely. However, I'm allowed to call spade a spade too and say, okay, that's a failure of diplomacy then. He may have spoke about Iran. So did he say, I promise to go to war with Iran, infected mushroom? Can you show me that clip? I'm happy to see it. Trump campaign saying, I promise to go to war with Iran. Happy to see it. I'll eat crow right now. I missed it. I would have criticized that while he was running. I didn't see him say, one of my campaign promises, I promise to bomb Iran and have regime change. All right, infected mushroom's going to find it. I thought what he said was,
Put a 1 in the chat if you think infected mushroom is going to find it.
we're going to stop wars. We're going to negotiate. There are places like Iran where they're doing bad shit. We're going to make sure they don't get a bomb. I don't remember him saying, I promise to bomb.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. The Supreme Court is, well, actually, no. They've been very left-leaning for such a Republican bench. So that's probably going to be good. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Or is it just that the Supreme Court is always going to hand down rulings in the opposite direction than I want? Same with Roe v. Wade. I think we should have had we should have kept Roe v. Wade until we had a way to make sure that half the country wasn't going to be like, you get an abortion, you get an abortion, and you get an abortion. But that's just me.
I don't remember that. And that seems to go with his theme, like when he said Ukraine
I'm having it, Mike.
would have never been invaded by Russia. He's saying we will have strength diplomatically that will get the things done we want to not have to. What do you mean don't put words in your mouth? I'm not, unless you're a fucking idiot. Because what I said was, I think that Trump was the peace president. And he said, we'll try to solve things through diplomacy. And if he has to go to war, that's a failure of diplomacy working. And you said, Trump talked about...
I don't think you can, like, logically, I don't think you can disagree with that. That if he's saying, I am the peaceful president, and now we are at a place where it is true that Trump needs to go to military action, then that is just it either means that Trump did not actually try to go as far with diplomacy as we would have expected, or that the diplomacy failed. And that doesn't mean that doesn't even mean that it's a failure of Trump. I'm not saying it's not a failure of Trump. I'm saying the diplomacy failing doesn't necessarily mean one side was right or wrong. We have completely different entities, different countries, different cultures, a whole bunch of different shit. And so that's fine. If we are here because the diplomacy failed, that doesn't even mean it's a bad thing. We just have to understand the reality of what the fuck it is that we're talking about. Right? Diplomacy takes two. And so with either side, I'm just speaking logically, whether it's Trump that's saying, no, I'm not going to do that, or it's Iran saying, I'm not going to do that, that is diplomacy failing. And if diplomacy failed, then maybe, perhaps, we do need to go beyond diplomacy and use military intervention. But that is the question on the table.
Iran in 2024. Sure, he talked about Iran. He's also talked about the United Kingdom. So if Trump invades the UK tomorrow, can I say, well, hey, He talked about the United Kingdom. Sure, he said he won't kick it nukes. Exactly. Let me break it down slowly for you people again, okay? Trump said he would be able to use diplomacy to achieve these goals. He bragged about being a president of peace. And so if he has to use the military to achieve these goals, that means the diplomatic efforts failed. Got it? Can we clear that up? I'm not saying Trump promised he would never bomb Iran. Trump promised he would never bomb Russia. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the spirit of what Trump was saying was like, I'm the peace president, peace through strength. And Russia wouldn't have invaded Ukraine because we're fucking badasses. And they knew if they crossed that line, shit would come to a head. So they won't cross the line.
That's who I voted for. That's who I voted for.
And that's what he's implying about places like Iran as well. We won't have to. They're not going to do that shit because they know we don't fuck around. Like when we took out Khomeini. Here we go. Here's my audience today. So you're saying, there it is. That's the audience today. Because
so what you're saying is, exactly. If Trump says no or the other says no, then no diplomacy. The problem with Russia is that diplomacy takes three: Russia, Ukraine, and America. Yeah, and I just want to. I'm not saying you're not understanding. Just to type on that. A failure of diplomacy is not inherently a bad thing. In terms of looking in hindsight at attacking another country. Just because diplomacy failed doesn't mean it also is bad that we reacted with the military. But also, the question on the table is, did diplomacy need to fail? Were we unable to meet diplomatic terms? That is the question.
Diplomacy failed? We should go home?
Stupid. Yeah, this person saying to Rob, so because diplomacy failed, we should just go home? Clearly diplomacy failed, and let's say it's Trump's fault. Now what? Then we fucking bomb them! But you're begging the question.
I understand people are passionate about it. Me too, I guess. No, I'm not saying if diplomacy fails, then we should not try anything else. That's not my argument. I'm saying that at first, it's okay to say that this was sort of a failure of things that we were being hopeful of Trump. We hoped that these sort of things would be able to be solved without military intervention.
Anybody disagree with what Rob just said? Anybody disagree?
One of the things that people like me were proud to vote for Trump for all three times was it seemed he was less inclined to intentionally start regime change wars. Much of that, I believed, was because of his unpredictable diplomatic strategy, which oftentimes led to him being seen as intimidating and the United States being intimidated, which meant that we never had.
In a diplomatic manner, meaning that we don't need to use war powers.
I believed was being seen as intimidating and the United States being intimidated, which meant that we never had to actually use that military force. And so even if in a world where I could see the intelligence he's looking at and saying, yes, unfortunately, this intelligence does justify us attacking right now as an American, I could step back and say, it's regrettable. I wish that Trump's diplomatic efforts would have been something that solved it. Does that help clear it up? You got it? Everybody got it there? That's what I'm trying to say. Now, it may be that the intelligence is bullshit. It may be, let's go with the hypotheticals. Maybe this is all fucking bullshit. Maybe this is just fucking Israel. Maybe it's just them. Maybe they're feeding Trump bullshit intelligence. Maybe Iran's not even working on a nuclear weapon. They had nothing to do
Maybe.
with sponsoring terrorism. In fact, maybe they've been pulling back. Maybe they're slightly intimidated by what they see with what happened in Gaza with Israel and what they see with Trump's foreign policy. And so they're like, whoa, and they're pulling back. And Israel's like, that's all right. Go forward. Fuck them up. Now's the chance. They're on the retreat. And it's all fucking bullshit. And it's all just bullshit regime change war. Maybe it's other corporate interests.
Bullshit.
Maybe it's fucking Halliburton. Maybe it's BlackRock. Maybe it's Lindsey Graham. And they're feeding all this lies to Trump and he's buying it. And it's not being done on behalf of the Iranian people or being done on behalf of the American people, but it's on military industrial complex, Israeli interest, European interest, whatever. Maybe that's why it's being done. Fuck that. If that's why it's being done, fuck it. If the intelligence is all a lie and that's why they're doing, fuck these people. Maybe they.
What do you mean with this? Well, I said, I wish I had a unicorn. I wish a unicorn would pee golden bricks for me. Shit in one hand, wish on the other. What? I have not heard this before.
Planted all these stories about fucking protesters being killed and shit. It's all just more bullshit to justify another interventionist war. Yeah, that fucking sucks. Yep, totally against it. Fuck Trump, that stupid motherfucker, for lying us into another war, if that's the case. Got it? I know it's hard. I know it's hard for the audience. I know everyone wants to be like, no, Rob, what you have to do is you have to come on and say, I know all the facts, and this is why this is what he did is 100% good or 100% bad. And I wish I could do that, but I'm just a dumb redneck. That's it. So what I'm trying to do is say,
the people asking for that. Maybe not all of them, but that is the wokeness of the woke right. I'm not going to say anybody who is saying it must be good, it must be God, must be good, must be bad. I'm not saying that automatically makes you woke right. But if you're on the right and you're trying to nail down, nope, you got to say it's this or that. That's kind of woke.
At the stage. and saying, here's how I'm thinking of this. I say, first off, can I envision a world where these sorts of strikes would be legitimate? Yep. Can I envision a world where they would be illegitimate? Yes. Okay, now what are the facts that I know? It's very difficult. Okay, so then let's look at a recent history of the people that are involved with this story. Let's look at our intelligence and what it said about Libya and what it said about Afghanistan and what it said about Syria and what it said about Iraq and what it said about Ukraine. See what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to come up to what is the most likely scenario of what's going on here. But as I go through, part of it's because I'm an idiot and I respond to everyone in the audience. As I go through,
I said, shit, me too, Rob. Me too. Well, said I can only speculate the reason and use evidence to back it up. But if you boil it down, I'm still guessing. An educated guess, but a guess at the end of the day. I think we hit Iran because of China. Very possible. What? Say more on that. What is the effect of us bombing Iran because of China? What does that do?
the people that are pissed on both sides. No, get to the punchline, Rob. Get to the punchline. It's either a horrible war crime, terrible thing that should result in Trump being impeached because he sold everyone out for Israel, or it's the most base thing ever. Fuck Khomeini. He was a monster that was going to try to kill us all. Fuck him. We're happy he's gone. What I'm trying to do is, like, I'm trying to think through it myself.
Shout out to Rob Noor. If you are not following him, please go and do that. Yeah, there we go. Based Rob. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out, guys. Oh my goodness. Let's give a big shout out to the donations. We had Jason starting us off. We had Behave. And then our sponsor, Boxy Boy, with 1, 2, 3, 4 different super chats. Thank you. So very, very much, sir. It is very much appreciated. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out. I know I say it every time, but I know that you guys could be doing anything else in the world, and yet here you are hanging out, having a good time. And some of you even opening up your wallets for the show. It is not cheap. It is not free. And Morty's Vet is even more expensive. So I do appreciate it. And, this is, I can't promise that I'm going to be, getting too much deeper on this. If you're new here, this is not a news channel. This is a conversation channel about politics. And so, we take the things that are going on, but we take the step back and look at the conversations. So I'm in the same way that Rob typically would be able to, give, well, this is what's happening because that happened. And I'm not even claiming to be that guy. I'm claiming to be like, look, other people smarter than me, more well-read than me are having this conversation. Let's break down how they are articulating their points and whether or not we should listen to them, whether it makes sense, whether we can see the bullshit like we did with Gavin Newsom in the beginning, or whether we can see a justification of a lack of answer like we saw with Rob, and then a little bit of bullshitting from Dave Smith. So, and here, Lowen said, Iran is part of BRICS. China was getting oil from them also. Iran is a member of BRICS, having officially joined the group on January 1st, 2024, as part of the bloc's expansion. But it would take a long time to show anymore. So we will save that for next time. Guys, thank you so very, very much once again. Can you guys see him? Well, we can't see him. Oh, nope. Once again, guys, that is the co-host Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of Common Sense. Remember, live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it, so hit that subscribe button. You know that YouTube sucks with those notifications, so you may as well ring the bell so you never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.